Yes, I managed to mute the stream. What am I doing? Playing Elden Ring. Is my microphone coming through? Seems to be. Can't tell because I've got the stream muted. What a roadmap! RuneScape roadmap! Oh my god, we should have done that ages ago. Cough. I got a claymore! Yes, this is the weapon that I used in Dark Souls, I'm pretty sure. Handles very similarly. I wonder if they just imported the same code. Like, it handles very similarly to Dark Souls. I assume it's a bit more responsive, but what am I doing? I can't remember. Sorry, it's been a very long day. I took meetings all day, and I had to go into the office for one meeting and then cycle home again quickly for the live stream. So, and obviously the live stream was quite an important one, and there was like messaging, and I got the messaging wrong. And yeah, like I fumbled like trying to explain why it was that the GE thing hadn't been done yet, and it made Timbo sound like an idiot. But it's very much not really Timbo's fault. It's all good now. Yeah, I like the Claymore. Alright, I'm exploring this castle. I'm on... where am I? Here. So since I last streamed, what have I been doing? Last time I streamed, I think I was still in the castle. Was that the last stream I did? It was ages ago now, wasn't it? I think that was when I was in the castle fighting the... No, yeah, I left the castle. I was fighting the big dragon thing in the basement of the castle. And then I left and I started wandering around here, I think. So since then I've done a whole bunch of stuff up here. And I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I kind of came down to this island and cleared out this island. I've been marking little skulls down for things I haven't done, like bosses I haven't killed and stuff. So I'm currently trying to... There's some quest here. There was some woman here who wanted me to go and kill everyone in this castle, so I'm doing that. The layout's a bit confusing. I also went back to the main castle. What's it called? Stormvale, and I started clearing it out much more thoroughly. So I've explored. When I was streaming it, I just sort of stumbled randomly through the castle and somehow accidentally found myself at the final boss. I didn't actually go in to fight the boss, but I found myself at the save point. So I've gone back now and explored more thoroughly. I found the Crucible Knight down there. Failed to kill the Crucible Knight. Found the big dragon thing. Failed to kill that too. But yeah, so I've explored this. I don't think completely thoroughly. I haven't cleared out. I went up here and found that point and wandered up here, and there seemed to be some sort of golem, so I didn't go any further because that seemed like a stream thing. And I don't think there's probably stuff to pick up somewhere out in the courtyard. You know, like the hard way that you go. There's probably some stuff I haven't picked up, but otherwise I think I've cleared that castle pretty thoroughly. Where am I going? But anyway, yeah, so for now I'm exploring this castle, which is very confusing. Okay, so that's the charnel pit. Oh, so I'm up here, right, okay. I'm just trying to get my bearings. That's the way in. Have I been up there? I don't think I've been up there. And I can't get over it. I don't know how I get over there. Oh, there's a ladder there. Okay. I like exploring and finding stuff. It's really good. Like I'd rather... my desire to explore and stuff is slightly weaker than my desire to have all of the things. So, for the most part, I'd rather have... Like, for Dark Souls, I just had a tech checklist, and that was quite nice to just be like... I like to know that I've got everything and I can move on, you know? I like the whole Ubisoft, like, style of content design where they put a little marker on the map, and you go there and you tick it off and you know you've done it. It's actually incredibly satisfying to me. Whereas this style where... without checking a guide, you essentially have no idea whether or not you've actually got everything. Well, I mean, obviously I can just fix that by using a guide, but like that's how I would prefer to play it. Have I been this way? I can't remember. No, it doesn't look like it. Hey, buddy. Oh yeah, I think I have been up there. fighting those two before, but I apparently didn't find whatever this is. This is not a situation I'm well equipped to handle with my current build. Yeah. What? What? How does that make sense? Incredibly irritating enemy type. I baited them into coming and attacking me before, but they don't seem to want to do that this time. Like, they eventually just got bored and flew down and attacked me with swords, but... No. I might have a thing equipped, but I don't think I do. No, I don't. God damn. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been here already. I don't think I've been over there. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, because I came up here and I dropped down to the save point. Yeah, so I never started exploring up here. That's why there was still stuff I hadn't picked up. So how do I get... So I go along here. Hey, Percy. Oh, I forgot. I was going to do an Emperor Palpatine impression. Damn, completely forgot. Yeah, I was all over the place this stream. Everyone seemed to think I said civilization, but I said colonization. Sorry, in the live stream today, I was asked like what my favourite game is. And colonization isn't my favourite game, but it was a game that had huge significance to me. I did play quite a lot of Civ 4. I mean, I played a lot of Civ 1 and 2 and 3, but the Civ I played most was 4. Whoa. In fact, I saw someone in the chat say not colonization, civilization, and I was like, no, it was colonization. Sid Meier's Colonization was a game. Yeah, I like this sword. I don't know whether I'll switch from... I think this was the sword that I used in Dark Souls. I can't clearly remember now. Like, it feels the swing and the heft, and the fact that it still has a thrust. But I think it's an even longer thrust. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of games that are called Sid Meier's. There's Sid Meier's Pirates, which is actually another really good game. Sid Meier's Starships, which is a terrible game. Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, which doesn't really hold up, but was an amazing game at the time and didn't have anything to do with Sid Meier, which is an interesting one. Try attacking. Let there be tears. Hey, buddy.
There's a face I've not seen before.
Ooh, what's farmer?
Warden of this castle, as ordained by Lord Godric himself. But you can see how things have turned out. The
Yeah, you suck at your job.
have all rebelled. They gave me good service, or so I thought. But it seems it was all an act. Foul creatures, as it said, and true enough, they're foul inside and out. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but whatever you come here to do, I'm afraid Castle Morn won't hold much longer. Take this, by way of apology.
Thanks.
I see. From Arena. Thank you. I'm in your debt, but I can't leave yet. Even
Thank
if
you.
the castle should fall, as commander, I must remain to ensure the treasured sword of Morn does not fall into the wrong hands.
A sword, you say?
If you see Arena, her father will come. If you see Arena, her father will come.
I don't remember who her father is. There's some woman and she was like, oh no, my castle. It's been attacked by socialists. Something like that. Pretty sure that was the story. Okay, so there was a boss. There was a boss at the back. I fell back. There was a boss, like, back here somewhere. Have I explored everything else? I think I have. Did I go there? I don't remember going on that platform back there. How would I get there? Oh, no, that's the entrance. Ah. That's the way in, so that... Oh, this layout is confusing. Okay, I think I've explored everything in the castle. But then there was like a boss door at the back. So I guess I should go that way. I don't currently feel confident doing this with the Claymore for an actual serious boss fight. I have no idea what this is. I assume it's a boss, that door there. Some of these low-level bosses in the starting area have been quite easy now. I think my sword and my strength value. So where am I at now? Okay, so I'm level 32. I was 14 last time I went to the castle. I'm now 32. But I put most of my points into endurance, dexterity, intelligence, and faith. I think I'm like 1 higher strength than I was before. But my sword is now +7, and it seems to do significantly more damage than it did to start with. Alright, what's this thing? Oh, hello. A Leonine misbegotten. At some point I'm gonna... Wow, that was such horrible timing. What am I doing? Completely forgotten how to play this game. Oh, also I have 9,000 souls. Should probably spend those. Oh, this is not a good game to play when tired. That was why I felt like I got completely stuck at Dark Souls, because I got stuck on Ornstein and Smough, and I thought, like, I just need to get up early in the morning. It was like I was playing it around when my kids were first born, and I just need to get up early in the morning, have a good night's sleep, get up early in the morning, and then I'll be able to do well at this game. And then that never happened ever again. Oh, good grief. What the hell? Yeah, like if I wake up and I have a good night's sleep and I'm waking up feeling productive in the morning, then the last thing I can do with my life is play Dark Souls. This is very much a thing to do when everything important is out of the way. So this isn't connected to the story of this place, it's just a random boss at the back of the castle, which is fine, I guess. Okay, buddy, come on. I'll do this. Wow, that response time there. Ah! My blind attempt was the best. What is going on here? I'm so bad at this game. I was amazing at this game when I was fighting, what's his name, Margit. And then since then I've just been terrible at it. I don't, so that twig that guy gave me is like a... You lose it instead of losing souls, right? But, do you have to equip it or something to make it work? Oh no. What an amazing start to a fight. Oh, what am I doing? Wow, this is exactly like my fight against Crucible Knight. My lovely relaxing evening. Come on, get ahead in the game. I'm not keen on the mechanic actually of having to, like, I don't mind, well sorry, I mean I do mind, but like within the context of the game's design, I don't mind that when I come back, you know, if I give up on this fight, I lose my souls, right? That's kind of like the core of the Punnett game's death penalty. It really bothers me that I have to kind of manually pick them up each time I do the boss fight. That's just irritating. I think I might try my other shield. Try and do this with more of a... I don't... It's hard to tell what's me sucking and what's me not understanding the mechanics of the boss. Hi, Chaplin. I think my, like, I don't know if it's something I'm missing that's obvious, or something that you're supposed to just understand and know. But I have trouble telling, like, is this a boss where blocking is supposed to be the strategy you use versus dodging? Like, sometimes it's obvious, like if the boss's attack's just unblockable, then yeah, sure, blocking is the wrong strategy for this boss. Sure, 1 second. But then other times it's like, no, it's just that, you know, dodging is the perfectly correct strategy, you're just doing it badly. Some bosses have really weird, there were like in that castle I was just in, there were these animal men, I guess that's what this thing is, misbegotten, and they had axes. And I was dying to them again and again. Right, let's try this again. Oh. Need some more stamina. Yeah, it's spins, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Right, sure. That's the... Turns out I was just doing the fight wrong. Sure, no problem. Wield that sword. What is it? A grafted blade greatsword. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Grafted are those spider things. Oh, it's not. It's just... That is very anime. That's a very anime-looking weapon right there. Oh, is it Game of Thrones? Oh, I suppose so, yeah. That's cute. Although that's still anime. Like, putting a... What's the throne called? The, the, the throne in Game of Thrones, I can't remember what it's called. It's not called the Blade Throne, is it? The Iron Throne, yeah, that's it. I mean, it's... I don't know how it's described in the books. I thought the one in the TV series... Oh, but the one in the TV series looks very similar to the one I've seen in, like, art. Like, I used to play the Game of Thrones board game a bunch, and that had an Iron Throne in it, and that Iron Throne looked similar to the one in the game. Not the game, the one in the TV show. So I'm assuming it's described fairly clearly as looking like that. Anything up here? No. Right. Okay, so now that I'm amazing at killing bosses again, I'm done here. I think I'm done on this island. No, I need to go back and talk to what's her name? Irina. There was a cool, on the way to the castle, there was a cool boss that was like riding a hooded horse. He was pretty good. He just suddenly rode out of a gap and attacked me. And when I knocked him off his horse, he summoned his horse back again, and I had to knock him off his horse again, which was really annoying, but really cool. Where am I going? I kind of want to level up this claymore now. Is it you? Are you the person?
Greener.
Oh.
How could this be?
Oh
My
no.
daughter deserved better. The fault lies with me. I chose duty over my daughter's safety,
Wait, who's he?
and that is how fate...
I mean, I know it's her father, but I don't actually know who that is.
I'll find them. The foul wretch is responsible for this.
I can see a clue.
I'll hunt them down and exterminate every last one of them. Rest assured, Arena, it will be done.
This is so plot intense.
I'll find the foul. I'll hunt them down and rest assured.
No, I went to the castle. I got her quest, went to the castle, delivered her letter, and now I've come back. But I don't know who he is. So I guess I'm done with that quest. Is that how that works? Sure. Anywhere else I have to go? Right, I wrote down a bunch of stuff. Oh, there was someone wanting me to go here. I found someone, can't remember who it was, and they told me I had to go. Oh yeah, there was an undead man here, and he told me to clear this place out, and there was a man with a boat. And like that was quite a cool fight actually. It went on for like 20 minutes. And then I reported back to him. He had a head. He had the head of a conjoined twin. He had like the head of a congenitally joined twin attached to his breastplate, or at least that was my interpretation. And he kept cradling it with his hand, which is odd and very Dark Souls, aesthetically speaking. Anyway, he told me to go here. That's my point. So I guess I should do that. Or I could try to kill... Oh, yeah, I tell you what. With my new using a shield strategy, why don't I try fighting the person in the church? There was some... Is this the right place to go? I think so. Wait, no. Right, there's a boss in there that I haven't killed because it was hard. I didn't try very hard though. I was a bit frustrated having gone. I lost all the souls I got from the fight with the boatman. I came into here and died. And then on my way out, I farmed another 5,000 souls, and then I lost them as well. Oh, this isn't the right place to go. Let's try there instead. Caelid seems like somewhere where I could come and get cool stuff. If I knew what I was looking for and like just use the guide in order to like track the best things and where to find them. But exploring it doesn't seem like very fun at the moment. I've been learning how to do horseback fighting as well. Okay, so when I go in this church, someone's going to get summoned to fight me. Oh, hang on, crap. I should really spend my souls before I go and engage in a fight. I might not be able to win. Oh no! Oh, too late. Can I just leave? I have not found any dancing nuns. She's going to murder me, isn't she? Well, I guess I'll drop my souls quite a long way away, so that's probably okay. It's feeling a bit like cheating now. Oh. She hits really hard when I'm not blocking. Yeah, this shield is quite strong, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't work against, like, any of the very hard fights I've tried. It hasn't worked for. Like, it didn't do anything against the Crucible Knight. Yeah, I'm an expert at PvP now. I can make loads of stuff, and so far I haven't had cause to make any of it. Yeah, now I'm an expert at PvP. Now I think PvP is good, and we should do the wilderness. Make PvP great again. I don't actually know what I'm leveling up now. Probably strength. I don't know actually. Oh, thank you, Chapman. And thank you, Percy, if I didn't say earlier. Yeah, I've unofficially had these responsibilities for a little while now, but this is like the official. It's official now. Oh, I can remove that. Remove that marker. I should go down there, shouldn't I? Just find out what that was about. Megtown. I use Megtown to distract whenever the topic gets too spoilery. Thanks, Lux. Ah. Okay, yep. Oh, now I'm going to make a lovely blood stain at the top of that cliff, aren't I? And I'm going to be like... I was talking to my daughter about the bloodstain mechanic and how good it is. Like, it actually works really nicely. I think I talked about it before, right? But it's interesting. Like, I was thinking about the philosophy of this game and how it's all about sharing information, right? And actually, the bloodstains do that incredibly effectively. Because when you see a bloodstain, it indicates to you that there's something dangerous going on here. Sometimes they're positioned in the most bizarre places. But where there's a line of bloodstains along a cliff edge, it tells you to watch out. And that's actually... There's something pleasing about... Like, because obviously as a designer, I could just paint bloodstains along the cliff. But the fact that it happens organically is just really cool, right? Like, there's something... I don't know, I talked about that before, didn't I? Like, that I have trouble... Well, I have trouble... justifying certain design decisions that I can't justify on a business basis, and I need to sort of not think about that so much sometimes. But then something like that, it's like it's just cool, and it's kind of hard to describe in any clearer detail than that. I wonder if there's some like evolutionary psychology thing there, like, you know, the fact that it's other player, the fact that I'm interacting with the community in a very indirect way matters. That's what, because I noticed that actually, because I interact with like children, like, you know, older people who don't know anything about computer games, and children who don't know anything about computer games. Quite a lot of the kids around here don't have computers, or don't have gaming. And so, like, one of the first questions people ask often with this sort of game, when you see it, like when you open an MMO and there are other players, and you're describing what an MMO is, and they want to know who's a player and who isn't. It's interesting. It's an immediately interesting topic to people. Like, it matters whether someone is an NPC or a real person. I mean, that's the thing with PvP as well, right? Like PvP people will tell you that PvP is different because it's so dynamic, and they're absolutely right? PvP is different in that regard. But also, people who aren't into PvP, part of the reason they're not into PvP is also because PvP feels different. It's not because it's unpredictable necessarily. It's because there's a kind of social significance to the fact that there's another person. Like, I've been griefed and ganked and stuff, and there's something uniquely enraging about, like, another person victimizing you. It's in a weird way, it's almost cathartic to sort of say, like, you know, there are bad people in the world, and this is one of them, and I am being victimized by a bad person. There's something strangely sort of reassuring about that, because it's a nice, clear sort of piece of black and white morality, right? I'm a good person, they're a bad person. Why does evil have to exist in the world? It's like a strange little morality play. Is this where I'm supposed to go? Maybe? After this, I'll go try to fight the dragon in the basement again. Whoa! Where am I? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that a monster? Yeah. Maybe I won't walk in front of him. Percy said whenever PvP and RS comes up, like any attempt to revive the wilderness, it's flopped because it's either one party doesn't want the PvP or they're both there for external rewards on link to the PvP itself. Yes, I think I would largely agree with that. Yeah, MMO PvP is in a complicated place. Rubik's whole thing is that well, other games can do it, why can't RuneScape? But actually, in practice, like, most of the MMOs I know have totally non-functional PvP. PvP doesn't just work. It's kind of you can't. I mean, because there was that whole dark. Have they stopped doing that now? I guess they haven't, right? Like, it's less common than it was. So, like, during the 2000s, every single game had a multiplayer mode. That seems to now be less true. But the big titles, like the big Activision, but then no, but like Assassin's Creed doesn't have a multiplayer mode, right? But then Call of Duty has single player and multiplayer. But is Call of Duty now one of the last ones doing that? I guess technically Elden Ring has multiplayer. Uncharted shoved one in. Call of Duty's going back to single player. But like, there was that whole like, well, if we just put a multiplayer mode in, then people will play it and will be the next big multiplayer game. Which this was before. I mean, this was back before like monetization and that sort of thing. So there wasn't any particular reason to be the next big multiplayer game, except I suppose that people would buy your game so they could play it multiplayer. But there was, Doom, not Doom, but Quake set up a tradition of effectively every FPS had to have a multiplayer game. Um, Chaplin said, BioWare got to make the next Dragon Age game single player after Anthem failed. Yeah, so there was that weird. But so I think that mentality of like, well, RuneScape is a multiplayer game, therefore it both can and should have PvP, is I think rooted in that the same kind of attitude as like every FPS game has to have PvP in it. Places of Clan Wars is always active, in part because there's no rewards, and therefore you have to be there for fun, while the PKing is griefing. Yeah, I mean that's because that's the thing, right? Like, yeah, because that was your original point. Was like there's two kinds of PvP. There's PvP where I'm externally motivated to do the PvP, and there's PvP where I'm just enjoying ganking people. So I know PvP in Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1. I don't think I ever actually PvP'd in Guild Wars 1 because it was organised team only. I think it was 8v8 only, and only with preset teams. So there's just no way I was going to ever do that. So I never did that. But PvP in Guild Wars 2, PvP in WoW, various types, PvP in Star Trek, PvP in Secret World. That's hilarious, but not relevant. Anything else I know PvP in? I mean, obviously there's like multiplayer online games, right? But then like in most so Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1 ended up with a reputation for being a really serious PvP game. It's balanced. The single player is balanced for PvP. Guild Wars 2 inherited that and essentially built an entirely separate PvP system and all of them progression systems and stuff. There's this really weird progression system. Like basically in PvP in Guild Wars 2, you can set yourself an objective, and then you earn every time you PvP, you earn points along that track and unlock rewards. And the rewards are essentially PVM rewards. So the equivalent in RuneScape would be like, I can set my PvP reward track to Raksha, and then every time I win a match, it's like I get a drop from Raksha, or I get a chance of a drop from Raksha. It kind of works like that. So it has the PvP mode is like, the idea is that you can only PvP, but you can still earn absolutely everything in the game by only PvPing, and you never have to go and do any PVM content. It's very, very interesting philosophy. But so they're absolutely all in on it, and as a result, their PvP is reasonably successful. I don't think it's wildly successful. I think it's reasonably successful, and they've like devoted their entire not entire, sorry, that's not the right way to put it, but like they're absolutely all in on it from a development point of view and a design point of view. And then WoW PvP is just complete, like World PvP in WoW is just dead. They keep trying to revive it. There are PvP servers, but they're just gank fests. Like it doesn't. There's a certain type of sort of dude bro, like, oh, it doesn't count if you don't play PvP sort of attitude. Like, oh, you're playing on easy mode where you don't get ganked. I don't even care about your game. But otherwise, like PvP in WoW is all organised PvP. They have a reward structure similar to, but not as sophisticated as Guild Wars 2's, where you only do organised, like structured 5v5 PvP and get rewards for that. Yeah. And then the other games I played, they do have PvP modes technically, but they're just a joke. Was it? Did you explore the area outside Gurank? Yeah. Oh no, I just teleported in. Sorry, I've been rambling about PvP. I should talk to this guy. I didn't. There was like a giant bird man outside, so I came through the door instead. I didn't even think about this place. What's in here? Statues of wolfmen? Is that what those are? Who's this fellow then? Hand over Deathroot. Huh? What? Do I want to hand over Deathroot? Don't try the bird man. This is called the best. Do I want, like, I was told to come here. I assumed he would talk to me. Does he not want to talk to me? Yeah, I've been to Caelid, Dackle. Switch action. How do I switch? Ah! Aha! What a weird interface. Yeah, okay. That was illuminating. I didn't go to Caelid for very long. Actually, have I been to Caelid on? I don't think I've been to Caelid at all on stream. Oh, I very briefly went into Caelid. Okay, should I hand over a death route? No, this is the kind of thing I'm just going to look up. What's this guy's name? Where am I? Gurank. This is the kind of thing I've got absolutely zero patience for. Like, is this a thing I should be doing? Elden Ring. Gurank. Like, why not? Why not experiment? The consequences could be playthrough destroying is not a type of thing that I'm remotely interested in. If defeated, drops Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. Well, that sounds worth having. What? Okay, so I just feed him death root then. What? Okay, I'll give you a death root.
I smell it. Death. Feeding me. Tarnished. Bring more.
That's not going to make a dent on that stomach, is it?
I shall grant thee eye and claw. Feed me more. I'm not sated. Feed me more. Death. I shall grant thee. Feed.
Okay, sure, dude. So what? So I shouldn't go and fight this guy? How many souls have I got? 2,000, that's not very many. I can have a go. I mean, is he hostile? Can I just escape? Is that man tiny, or am I just misreading that? Oh, is this like a weird bit of Caelid? Where am I? Oh, is this like a peninsula at the back end of Caelid? Okay. Yeah, I came out here because I used the trap chest, and that brought me out here, and I explored around a little bit and just left. And then I explored in this way a little bit, and I went in the Gale Tunnel and died a lot, and then got through the Gale Tunnel. Right, where else am I going? Oh, I didn't do that one, did I? Should I go do that one? Oh, no, I should go and do the frickin' dragon thing, right? Shall I see if I can kill the dragon now? Since I did promise to do that on stream. And then I think I might just go after the boss. I don't think I've cleared out everything. I've been leaving little skulls around. There was some sort of thing that only comes out at night there. There's a prison I haven't been into there. That's the dungeon right at the start. That's the dragon. That's the magma worm in the Gale Tunnel. There's another tree man there that I haven't even tried to fight yet. I think I cleared everything out of here. No, I didn't. Oh yeah, there was an imp key door there that didn't have anything useful behind it, so I didn't open it. There's another prison there that I didn't try going into. But yeah, so I think I've done, and there's the Crucible Knight there. So I think I've done most stuff that I would do before Gorvek. What's his name? Gorvich? I don't know. The boss. Godric. That's it. No, I haven't tried Godric yet. I haven't even tried. I did. So I've gone back and I've explored most of the castle now. I think I've explored all of the castle, actually. Yes, I have. So it's possible there's some stuff out here in the courtyard I haven't found, but I did clear this. I did clear this courtyard at least once. Oh, I didn't smash that thing. I should smash that thing, shouldn't I? That's going to have something really good in there, isn't it? Okay, I'll try and do that. Hey, buddy. Why is that not working? Dude, come on. Is this not how you smash this? I need to lure the troll. Oh no, is there a different troll? Oof. Oof. Bad. Is it worth opening? Ah! I never noticed that I've run out of stamina. Alright, there is a troll somewhere. Is he further along this way? Oh, bloody hell. These things are a pain in the ass. I'm going to run out of flask charges by the time I get to the troll at this rate. How bad? Oh, I don't think those birds are supposed to be an easy kill for melee, but they are hard. Yeah, I explored along here. I don't think there was anything else along here. There's like is that like a mini Erd tree or something, or is that like just a yellow tree? Yeah, here's the troll. Okay, so I can get his attention. You can give me advice, like, yeah, just try and draw a careful line, basically, between what's a spoiler. Like, if it's something where I should just, like, you know, I'm obviously trying to figure it out for myself, don't just tell me what to do, but at the same time, so for example, like, the first thing Dackle told me was not to go to Kid. Did that work, or did it need to be the sword? Oh no, that broke it open. Buddy, come on. Ah! It's quite hard to see what's going on. The last time I fought one of these, it was in a big field. Uh-oh. Oh, well, that's bad. Oh, is he telling? Yeah, Lux was telling me to get a grace. Yeah, no, I think I've got all the graces in the castle. So is that thing going to close up again? No, that's good. Right, where are my souls over there? So I just need to run and loot this. Yay, smithing stones. Oh, that was the same thing as in the last one. Oh, I'm not fighting these trolls again. Come on. Right. How am I doing for souls? 3,000. It's not enough to do anything, is it? I should spend them on something, shouldn't I? Right, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go fight the dragon. If I'm going to go fight the dragon, I don't want souls left over. So what can I buy with 3,000 souls? There's like a There's someone sells arteria leaves or something like that. Are they worth buying? I think I've bought all of the yeah, the basement dragon, yeah. I think I've bought all of the one-off things, you know, like the things you can only buy once, like armor and weapons and stuff. I've just been buying those as I go along. You see, Lux, that's the thing I'd rather not know. Like, this dungeon is the largest dungeon. Like, that's a, because then that makes me think about the future a bit. Like, it's yeah, like, I mean, so like I break my normal spoiler rules for this kind of game. You know, normally I'd be like, absolutely no spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers, but that's just not how I'm playing at all, because...
Back already.
Has he got no face?
Fella, aren't we? To this age.
Got no face. They're these things. Is this a good thing to spend my spare money on? Like, just buy some of these, or I could buy one of these. I don't actually know what would be a useful thing to have. Are arteria leaves something that's worth having? I just want to get rid of my souls, basically. Arrows are decent. Like just regular arrows. I've got 35 already. I don't feel like I need massively more. I guess I should probably be using them to kill those. Yeah, see, that's going to be too many now. Yeah, I want to buy these. 10? Yeah, sure. Okay. So do I not need arterial leaves? Are they not a thing?
Have a safe journey.
Right, where am I going? I'm going here. Okay, back to this dragon. So I haven't even tried this dragon since the last time I was streaming it. But since I'm now amazing at the game, I'm sure it's going to be really easy and I'm just going to kill it in one go. If I can remember how to get there. Yeah, I have a bow and a crossbow. I seem to keep picking up bolts, but I haven't picked up any arrows yet. Alright, let's see how it works. Okay, come on, buddy. It's you and me. Let's go. I've got to try and remember how this fight works. This thing is called an ulcerated something. Ulcerated tree or something like that. So it's not supposed to be a dragon, it's supposed to be a tree. Or like a piece of root or something like that, I guess. Oh, this is a lot easier with the stronger sword, although I still might die to the horror attack. You think Croesus Sori suits it better? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Right, this is the attack that just kills me? Hey, I didn't die! Jesus. Oh, he's glowing. Is that the bad attack or the good attack? Oh god. Drink, drink, drink. Ah, no, I didn't need to drink two. Yeah, okay. It's a bit easier. Just a bit easier. Ah, a golden seed. It's not a bad reward. Where do I go from here? Through here. Yeah, that was significantly easier than before. Like, I don't, but the shield was helping a bit. My I think I've got like fractionally more hit points than last time. I did. I got the thing from the face already. I got it because the last time I was here, I ran past the dragon and looted everything and came up these stairs and left the dragon alone. Well, I don't. I mean, I don't think I deserve skill credit for killing that. Like, clearly, like just attacks that were one-shotting me last. When I was here at level 14, its lightning storm attack thing um, just one-shotted me, and now I've leveled up a little bit, and it no longer one-shots me. So I have time to drink a healing potion, and that just means that the fight is quite easy now. You know, I go do the Crucible Knight if you want to see that, so you can see how this game is not easy at all. I say do the Crucible Knight, I mean not do the Crucible Knight. Now where am I? Okay, yeah, so I cleared all this out, I think. I don't think there's anything else through here. There was an imp from somewhere. Don't remember where it was. Yeah, there were a load of... and I found the secret... I found the secret lift. There were like 2 different secret lifts that I found. Okay, hang on, so that one's gone. Can I spend these souls usefully? 4,000. How much is it to level up right now? The Red Knight is the Crucible Knight. No, I haven't. I haven't killed him yet. I know where he is. I went and had a go. I was doing it like yesterday lunchtime. I was streaming on Discord to my friend who's really into Sekiro, and he was trying to give me feedback, but also distracting me horribly by talking about things at the same time. I didn't actually check how many souls I needed before I ran out here to attack this guy. Why am I doing weak attacks? Yeah, I kind of want to kill the Crucible Knight. I'll go give it a go, but I don't... I failed at it with the current level of skill and gear that I have, so I'm not optimistic that I'll be able to do it. It's also a really annoying fight to start, because he starts in a room which is really bad to fight him in, so you have to take him somewhere else. And you have to wait for him to really slowly plod from room to room. Blimey, it needs a lot of these to level up now, doesn't it? That's just enough that I don't really want to lose them, but not enough that I can actually conveniently level up. I guess I can go and kill some more of these giants. I'll just kill a couple of these trolls and it'll be fine. Do these skulls respawn? Because they must do. I've got the Claymore. I think I'll probably switch to it, but it's not upgraded at the moment. The Claymore is what I used in Dark Souls, I think. So I'll probably change, but I think if I'm going to go and do if I'm riding around doing bosses and killing Godric, I think I should probably not. This is not a good time to try to get the hang of a new weapon. I'll practice with it a bit before I go and try and do anything hard. But yeah, the Claymore has the exact weapon characteristics I want, so I probably will use it because it has the thrust and it has the extremely powerful attack. I feel like I need to. Because at the moment I think I don't have enough smithing stones. Let me check actually. I don't think I have enough smithing stones to. Where are they? Oh, maybe I do now. 1 smithing stone 3 would be enough to get it up to +7, wouldn't it? So I could upgrade it straight to +7 actually. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll do that. Hang on. Oh. I mean, like normally I'd be hesitant to level up another weapon. Normally I'd be hesitant to just dump all my points into a weapon. Oh, the seeds. What's the chalice? I don't think I have enough seeds, do I? Let's have a look. Oh, I do. Okay, that's handy. And I will allocate my charges better. Oh, I had a sacred tear. Where did I get a sacred tear from? Well, yeah. So everyone said that it's easy to like get smithing materials, but that isn't really true at the moment. So if I want to change weapon, like at the moment, part of the reason I'm still using the longsword is I can't get the materials to upgrade a different weapon because the infinite +1 and +2 stones aren't coming yet. And even when I do get the +1 and +2 infinite stones, I won't then have infinite +3 stones. So my best weapon will still be my most upgraded weapon. So I'm still a bit cautious about the way what I upgrade and what I choose to upgrade, and I'm not regretting. I was talking on the Law Discord actually about like flaw is much too strong a word, but I think there's a mismatch with the strengths of this game. Like the fact that the fact that there are so many different play styles, the fact that all the weapons feel so different and sort of play so differently, and you can find a weapon that really suits your play style. It's great, but the early game absolutely does not want you to do that. Like, it's strange to me that I can't, given that it is essentially a classless game, it's really strange that I can't, like, try out Samurai if I want. And your starting class choice really matters. It was actually quite a grind for me to get to the point where I could just try out basic spells. So like, it would be false to say that I am locked into longsword, but functionally speaking, it's quite hard to transition out of longsword, and it's sufficiently expensive to transition out of longsword that I'm not just going to randomly transition out to every weapon I can. So like I ran around with all my different weapons, and I tried them out. So I tried out falchion, and I tried out the various different longswords I've got. I don't think they're all in my back. Hang on. I should sort some stuff, because I have hundreds of annoying duplicate shields. There's a sort of all-around class, but the all-around class starts with nothing. So, like if you play as a samurai, you start with a katana. If you want to try dual katana, the only way to do that is to either get like a much later in the game katana, or to play a samurai and find another katana. So like just like you have to kind of grind to try out, and there's various different ways of designing an RPG, right? Like if you think about like a class-based RPG, I'm very obviously choosing, like, I'm a wizard, so I can't use a shield and I can't wear heavy armor, or I'm a fighter, so I can't use magic, and that's quite simple. Skyrim, by comparison, which is similar to this game in the sense of being classless, or Bloodpact, I guess, in RuneScape, you start out being able to try everything and experiment with everything, and then as the game goes on, typically you start to specialize and sort of pick a route. Whereas in this one, it would completely support that idea of classless play. It just doesn't, which is really odd. And I feel like that's a weakness of the game, because like a lot of people, especially Elden Ring, which appears to be designed to be more accessible than Dark Souls, a lot of people are going to start this game up, try out some class, have a bad time of it, and then some of them will get advice or restart the game or whatever, but some of them will just be like, oh, I guess this game's not for me. And it feels like the game's mechanics actually really, really support not doing it that way, except for the weird way that the gear is laid out. Anyway, sorry, what am I rambling about? Why did I come back here? I can't even remember. I was going to my chest, and I was going to... What was I going to do? Am I going to put shields in my chest? I don't really need any of these other shields. I like all these other shields. I think I'd rather... I'd quite like a shield with a crest on it. That would look quite nice. Oh, I got this, didn't I? Jesus, 36 strength. That's pretty sweet, though. That's what I'm aiming for. I don't need that, do I? I'm going to use that. I need to sell those ones. Yeah, I sold some duplicate weapons, which I'm now regretting. So like I can't. I sold my second falchion, and now I can't dual wield falchions, which is sad. I was keeping all this stuff in my bank, but I think that's actually the wrong, so that I could more easily switch in combat. But I think that's actually pointless, and there's switching in combat is just not a thing that I can ever do. It's fine. I mean, I don't like. Yeah, again, I'd say flaw. Flaw is way too strong a word. Flaw. It's not the right way of thinking about it. But it feels to me like a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity to allow early experimentation. Like when I think about, RPGs, my favorite part of an RPG is almost always like the early game when your options are open. Like you think the first level of the original Deus Ex, or I mean Blood Pact again would be a good example, or like the very start of Guild Wars 1. Not anymore actually, but Guild Wars 1 on launch. You could so Guild Wars, sorry, not Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 on launch has, like, it's way less sophisticated than what Dark Souls Elden Ring does, but, like, each weapon works differently. So, like, if you're a warrior, then a sword and a mace aren't just two different one-handed weapons, one of which does blunt damage. You have a completely different... Your abilities depend on your weapons, so, like, the first five abilities on your ability bar are locked, and they are set by the weapon you're wielding. So a sword warrior and a mace warrior are completely different, rather than just one does blunt damage. And they've removed this mechanic now, but early in Guild Wars 2, you had to unlock those weapons, those abilities, by getting kills with the weapon. So you'd equip a sword and kill enemies, and once you killed a certain number, it would unlock the next ability, and so on and so forth. And like, I actually had a great time just grinding out weapon styles early in Guild Wars 2, like creating one character of each class, buying a weapon of each type. And that felt really, that sort of experimentation meant that I kind of learned how every weapon for every class worked, and then I could then choose, oh well, this is the one I like the most. And that's such a wonderful thing for an RPG to be able to do, and I feel like this game doesn't have that, and I don't think it gains anything. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't feel like it gets anything in response for not having it, which is a bit of a shame. I have a sorcery scaling. That means it does better spell damage, right? Glintstone Pebble. Okay, now I'm going to die horribly here. Ah! Right, come on. Oh, no. I'm actually doing better than I expected. Ah. No. Ah! Jesus, that tail. Ah, what? What? Oh. Bloody hell. Ah! Ah! I wasn't expecting to get that. Nice. I struggled with that yesterday lunchtime. I guess I was more tired, but even so. Ah. This is why I put everything in the bloody bank. Okay, I'm just amazing at this game now, apparently. No, I didn't. Like, genuinely, I'm not sure what I did there because I was trying that exact thing yesterday, and I just kept missing the attack patterns. Like, that felt lucky to me. Honestly, like, that wasn't me planning to dodge his attacks. That was me sort of hammering the dodge button and it happening to line up exactly with his attacks. Let's go buy some more arrows. Hi, Twitchy Gnome. Do I know you by a different name? You seem like you might be Kitty.
Back already. Unusual to this age.
Sure, right, what are we going to do? Right, well now we're going to go do Godric, right? No problem. Right, so what's going... Right, so actually I don't know. So I got as far as this save point. And there was a boss door, and I haven't really done anything else. So let's see how it goes. Do I want to summon her? Do I need to summon her to complete a quest or something? Or can I? Is it optional? I guess I might as well summon her. Alright, well I've got no idea what this is about. Oh, cutscene. No, Kitty probably doesn't know what a PogChamp is, no.
Mighty dragon. Thou art a true born heir.
Oh, what's wrong with that dude's arms?
Lend me thy strength, O kindred.
I like that he's from the old country, though.
Deliver me unto greater heights. Well.
Oh, he is the guy that did the grafting. Okay, that's good. I was disappointed when the spider was just like a mini-boss thing.
I command thee. I am the lord of all that is golden.
Ah, dude, what have you done to your face? Alright, well, let's find out whether a shield is helpful in this fight. That's my first thing. Hey, buddy. Can I block this attack? Don't need a shield because you can't even hit me. Playing at me. Oh, hello. Oh. Am I going to have to watch that cutscene every time, by the way? Because that's going to suck. Nephili is healing. Oh. Cut his own arm off, dude.
Truest of dragons. Lend me thy strength.
Oh, that is an African. I thought it was a statue. Is he going to graft? Please tell me he's going to graft that entire dragon onto his arm, because that would be amazing. Oh, okay. That's not bad. He's an iron. It's a checkpoint, right? Ah! Ugh. Well, that's an unbreakable attack, that. Wait, was that... Wasn't that... Whose attack is that? Oh, there's his attack. It's just nonsense now. Uh-oh. Oh no. Does she need to live through the fight? Mate.
Lord of all that is golden.
That's what you get for pretending to be from Somerset.
We'll return together to our home, bathed in rays of gold.
The Great Runes have lost their powers? Oh, what? Man. Oh. Yep. Elden Ring in shambles. Where's that lady? I want to complete the quest. Like, I'm a quester. I don't care about bosses. Where's my quest? So he had a dragon. He was all like, truest of dragons. And this dragon fell onto this spike. I don't know whether he put it there. He seemed quite fond of it, which suggests that maybe he didn't kill it. No, something ahead. Look carefully, and then head. Anything else going on here? This is at the back of the tower, the castle. I'm assuming there isn't random treasure hidden around this boss arena. But I guess I should probably have a quick look. Trying to get a sense of where I am as well. Oh, there's like a courtyard around this tower. Okay, I haven't been down there, have I? Kenneth Haight talks about Godric finding a dragon. I don't remember. So thinking, I mean, yeah, I guess I should start thinking about lore. There hasn't really been any lore so far, but like he was. The lady said that someone. Sorry, she was talking about her friends. The woman who's now a rune crafter. Back at the round table, she said that she and her friends were coming here to be stitched onto a grafted, which I assumed was the spider in the kitchen, but I guess it was actually him. And But he's just the guy that rules here, right? But everyone that's talked about him, like the guy at the other castle, was talking about him as if he was just a regular lord. But he seems to be not a regular lord and actually like a crazy person. Oh, I've got quite a lot of runes. Level up. I could get more dexterity as well. To try and use out other weapons, but I don't think I need them really.
What a pathetic excuse for a lord you were. Craven to the bone.
Wait, who's that?
Pushing me about like that.
Is that
And
Godric?
after all that grafting, where did that get you?
Why is his head so tiny?
On me, would ya? Godric, you filthy slug. Feel it. Feel it. Feel my bloody wrath.
Hey, buddy.
Hello there. This weasel was... Godric was always looking down on me. He got what he bloody deserved thanks to you. I tell you though, what goes around comes around. He had an ugly heart.
This is the dude that stole all my runes, right? He's got like 20,000 runes of mine.
And met the ugliest of ends, eh?
He wants to sell me pickled fowl feet.
Now I can do whatever takes, can I? Now I can do, can I?
His rune count resets when he moves here. Right, oh, well, never mind. Easy come, easy go. I assume I just move on. I mean, I could go back to the round table and do something with my rune, right? I think someone said something like that, like go get a great rune, and then you'll be allowed through the special door. Fingers. I need to. No, I'm not even going to say it. Slightly odd-looking throne room. Hmm? Is that just a troll? I can't. I haven't yet found any secret passages. There's been it seems like every lift has a secret passage halfway up the lift, but other than that, I haven't found any secret passages. Or I've attacked a few walls here and there, but I haven't seen anything. I'm assuming this is all just time-wasting trolling. Not a hard place to get back to. Try down. That's quite a good one. I like that. I haven't thought of anything funny to write yet. I killed the tree, that guy. I used flame grease, fire grease, and summoned the octopus. And my daughter very sweetly said, "Daddy, you need to leave a message. Leave a message saying to try an octopus and a flaming sword, because that's how we killed it." Which does make sense. What is that? Maiden, dear maiden, where are you? Please take my grapes. Is that a person like just bent over backwards in a really awkward angle? Yeah, it is. How weird. The shackle that patches cells breaks all illusionary walls in a huge radius. I just use that and ignore all illusionary walls. That's just kind of cheating. Is that a thing from later? I never bought the Margit item. I hope I don't need it. Is that a trap? Something horrible is going to happen to that guy at the top of there. Just getting started. Yeah, cute. Oh, the Margit item. Oh, okay. Can I go back and buy that? And should I? Oh, that's nice. Everyone's saying. Well done. Ah, Elden Ring. Oh, okay. Oh, is this the back door from where I already got this I already got this grace because I came the long way around. Is that grace just here? So have I just come out the back door of the castle to the same grace? Yep. Oh, who are you? You think you should? I think you should go by the Margit item.
Hello? Is someone there? My name is Hayata, and I'm journeying in search of the distant light. If I might be so bold as to ask, would you donate any Shibriri grapes in your possession to me? My eyesight has been weak since birth, you see. I can't tell which way I'm
Is there something I
supposed
should
to go
do?
next. But when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel a distant light in the back of my eyes. It will lead me to my true duty as a finger maiden.
Maybe. Right. What's her name? There's no advantage to not doing so, but maybe you should read its description first. Does it, like, permanently buff me or something? Shibiri grape. An oozing yellow eyeball of the infirm, the surface is shriveled, the inside is squishy, not unlike a large overly ripe grape. Give to the blind maiden to guide her to the distant light. Oh, I see. You want me to read the description so I know what it is I'm giving her, right? Yeah, cool. Okay. Not like it's a secret that I need to. Yeah. Okay. It's for her. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
She's a proper Somerset lass. When I'm drunk, I talk entirely in a West Country accent. Unless I try and do Scottish, in which case I talk entirely in a bad Scottish accent. Right, what am I doing then? Oof. Well, I was sort of expecting a slightly more climactic boss fight, if I'm honest. Wait, so I should go by... Wait, how many... yeah, okay, so I should go back to... what's his name? Patches? He might not be there anymore. He said he was moving on. Don't know if he actually has moved on. Oh, I found Sorceress... Sorceress Seren, is that her name? Selen. I found her in 2 different places, which I think might be a bug. Because when I looked up how you're supposed to interact with this version of her, apparently it's from a questline later on. So I'm assuming she shouldn't be there yet, because she's still here at the moment. But then she's also here, which I think is later in the... And can I visit the fingers? Margit is much harder than Godric. Yeah, it's strange. I guess I'll go now and go back to the place. Hey guys. Oh, I should I guess I could level the claymore to +6, right? Because that doesn't have much opportunity cost. Yeah, is this the person that's here instead of Patches? Oh no, it's Patches still.
Oh, yes. I'm untethered by nature.
Yeah, he says it's about time I moved on. Yeah, so this item, so I should still buy it. Do I need any of this other stuff? I don't really, do I? Ballista bolts, that seems like a thing I should have.
Cheers for that.
Oh, except now I don't have any runes to upgrade my weapons. Oh well, never mind. Alright, let's go back to here for now. What am I doing here? I can't remember. Does anyone want to...
You appear to be doing well then.
You've met Garank, I take
There he
it.
is, that creepy conjoined twin.
Owing to our duties shared, we are now comrades in arms. I think you've earned this. The power of the Golden Order to aid the hunt of those who live in death.
D.
I serve the Golden Order.
Is that a reference to Vampire Hunter D? Is that called Vampire Hunter D?
Following only the guidance of the great Elden Ring. Those who live in death fall outside the principles of the Golden Order. Their mere existence sullies the guidance of gold, tainting its truth. And so it is the vermin must be exterminated. Down to the very last.
I'm assuming it's the voice direction. It's bizarre. It's the same in Dark Souls and Bloodborne. The voice acting isn't bad, but the voice direction is absolutely bizarre because all of the characters just sound incredibly chill all the time and sort of slightly bored. And it can't be the actors because voice actors don't sound like that unless you want them to. So like the voice director is just like, yeah, everyone should just sound totally out of it and like slightly disconnected from what they're saying and express no emotion at all. It's really odd. It's not a normal game thing. What else you got? Got some expensive litanies. Enchanted. What's this? Requires faith. Yeah, I'm assuming I could be like leveling up my faith and stuff. I don't really know what to do.
Meet a young woman named. She's a servant. She's been like I've lost count of them. Honestly.
Told you already. So where am I going? Do I need to do something here? Like someone at some point told me that I needed to come back here if I had a thingy. So I've come back here.
Greetings. Are you here for spirit?
I could tune up my jellyfish some more. Oh yes, the library man. Yes, it was him. Yes.
Of a chap, find 'em well.
Yes, it was the library man. Yeah, I need to go. I just spent all my souls. I should have saved them and I could have upgraded my claymore, but never mind. Oh, he's closed his door. Ah.
You again. I thought you'd receive a summons to the round table. Nefeli Lu. We met at Stormvale. I'm glad to see you here. I have something for you. I found it in Godric's grafting grounds. You defeated him. You should have it. Make good use of it. I don't intend to make a habit of scavenging corpses.
I mean, if you're a
Yes.
adventurer, you probably
I
should.
wonder if you've met my foster father. He's in his study. The room Encher's guarding just over there.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, I advise you introduce yourself.
And give me some advice on how to do that.
Father is leader of the Round Table. I'm sure talking to him will be worth your while. It's about time I headed. I'll see you again, Warren.
Still don't have. So, if far as I can work out from very briefly googling it, bell bearing means like if you kill a crucial NPC, they drop an item which if I give it to them, they now sell the same thing that that person did. But also there seem to be other things that are just like permanent unlocks. Wasn't that the yeah, in Bloodborne there was like a graveyard and you handed in specific imps to the graveyard or something like that? So why can't I get in here? Am I missing something, or is this just nonsense? Does he need me to activate the rune first at the Divine Tower? I mean, it's weird that the Yeah, because I looked up how to get infinite smithing stones, and it said, "Oh, you need to go do something and get a bell bearing and hand it in." And it's in an area I haven't gone to yet, so I didn't look up anymore. The door might be open next time I come back, but why wouldn't it be open this time? It's really strange. Oh, this door's suddenly open. This wasn't open before. Oh, there's the two fingers. Wow. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's well named. Those are, in fact, two fingers.
Are you that new tarnished? You've done well. I am Enya, the Finger Reader. I interpret the words of the fingers, envoys to the greater will. Look there. The fingers tremble to welcome you, Shardbearer. Let their wisdom wash over you. Great Elden Ring, root of the Golden Order, anchor of all lands, giver of grace, wellspring of all joy. And was shattered. The tragic corruption of the Order has taken its toll. Across the realm, life lies in ruin, fallen to pieces. Foul curses and misery spread, unabating. But the greater will has not abandoned the realm, nor the life that inhabits it. So it is that the tarnished are guided by grace, called to act. Brave tarnished, your great rune is a handsome shard of the Elden Ring. Seek another of its kind to become Elden Lord and restore the Golden Order. Let the words of the fingers guide you.
Wait, I missed something there about being tarnished.
Well, a remembrance of gold has found its way into your possession.
Don't remember what that means.
Demigods and even the greatest.
Oh yeah, he dropped something called like remembrance of something.
Are hewn by the Earth Tree upon their end into remembrances. They are valuable indeed. These remembrances yet house the power of their former masters. And should you wish to wield that same
Does that mean I can grow a dragon arm?
well, I will lend you the strength of the fingers. Do not recoil from my offer. The fingers guide us.
Please don't finger me,
all.
old lady.
And you, tarnished, you are here to take, are you not? The children of the goddess, queen, tainted by the
Bored
strength
of this
of
floor
their
now.
runes, her children wore, and so grace was extended. Listen, the greater will has long renounced the demigods, tarnished. Show no mercy. Indeed, the demigods are each and Godric the grafted, the runt of the litter.
Okay.
The children tainted, and so grace was the greater harmony. Indeed, the demigods, Godric the runt.
Each remembrance can only... Is this... Am I making a choice here, or does this just work? Am I choosing between those two options at the bottom? Because if so, I'm happy to leave this for now. I've got a claymore. You can get more of Godric's Remembrance. You have a choice between two. What's... like, I can't really see... Is that an axe and a sword? And the sword costs 2,000? Or do they both cost 2,000? If I click that... Oh, I see, yeah. Crafted dragon. Yeah, so I've got a couple of choices of things here that I can That seems really weird that it costs a trivial number of souls to unlock one of these two once-only choices. That's just weird. That's a really weird, like... I killed the boss, like, why can I not have the thing from it?
Now go forth,
Anyway, I'm happy to ignore that for now. Don't need that right now. Now do I need to go talk to the other guy? You opened up your door again? Yes, there we go, right. So it was just that I had to do them in order. That's super clunky.
You've received the wisdom of the two fingers, have you not? Then, just as promised, I bid you welcome.
It's like they lost one of the VO lines, and they're like, shit, we don't have the VO line for where you go to him.
As a
Lock the door.
wishes to stand before the Elden Ring and become Elden Lord, I am accumulating knowledge. To be all-knowing. You now belong to a select group of fellows. As such, I ask that you remain constant.
Wait, so is this an organisation of Tarnished who want to become the Elden Lord? Is that what this place is? Because if so, if the Great Runes are the fragments of the Elden Ring and you have to collect all the Great Runes in order to become the Elden Lord, shouldn't they just all kill me? What happens if two of us get a piece each?
You'll be after more Great Runes now, eh? Then as your fellow, allow me to divulge a little knowledge. The inheritors of the Great Runes, the Shard Bearers. We of the Round Table know the location of 5 of them, including the one you defeated. Godric the Grafted, Lord of Stormvale. General Radahn, who fought Melania and her rot to a standstill in the Caelid Wilds. Praetor Rykard, Lord of the Volcano Manor of Mount Gelmir. Morgoth the Grace-Given, Veiled Monarch and Lord of Leyndell. And Renala, Queen of the Full Moon, ruler of Rhea Lucaria's Academy. You'll still be after more Great Runes, won't you?
Like, yeah, they seem like they should have... do I care about any of this? It just seems like... And they also seem like kind of a useless organisation, because, like, literally any of them could have just gone and killed Godric because he wasn't that hard. I'm assuming anyone in this room is like, if I attack them, they'll be quite strong. So... Ask about Nephili.
I understand you've been... She's my daughter. I took her in when... No, I'm here, axe-wielding barbarian, so I put her to work. Do not hesitate to employ her, despite her looks. So, despite being the blood of Godfrey, first Elden Lord, he's a grotesque old... His castle lies upon that I suspect you know. So, despite being his castle lies, I suspect you... General Radahn, the famed Red Lion, and he fought Melania and her rot, and now Caelid has been engulfed by the Scarlet Rot. Even I've heard survivors of Radahn's army, and if it's true, though I doubt him.
That's good, that's a fun setup.
Praetor Rykard is the Lord of the Volcano. He is a ruthless justiciar who commands a company of inquisitors, reviled for his serpentine demeanour. The volcano, Mount Gelmir, lies in the west of the Altus Plateau, the realm of the Erd Tree. It was the stage of the most appalling battle in the entirety of the Shattering. Rykard has committed the grave sin of blasphemy, marking himself as an enemy never to be forgiven.
I mean, I just killed a demigod. Who are we blaspheming against? Is it Marika? Like, oof, Marika, she sucks. Well, I mean, I guess I thought that that random woman that came to me and talked to me might be Marika, so that seems kind of blasphemous. What was that one? Rykard?
Morgoth the Grace-Given is Lord of It lies at the foot of the Erd Tree, in the east of the Altus Plateau. But the two fingers forbid us from venturing there until we've acquired enough Great Runes to set your sights elsewhere for the time.
Okay. I did go there, I got teleported there.
Morgoth the Grace-Given. It lies at the two fingers until we've acquired...
Why am I spacebarring? Someone asked.
The Academy of Rhea Lucaria lies to Limgrave's north. Renala is queen of the Carian royals, but Renala herself is no dem. Her beloved Radagon left her to become Queen Marika's second husband, taking the title of King Consort. The great rune dwells within the amber egg that was
What?
The Academy of Rhea Lucaria lies to Lynn. Renala is queen of the Carian,
Yep.
and her great rune
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like full voice acting. I don't know really, like especially in RPGs, I don't especially like full voice acting in the first place because I read significantly. I don't mean this is some sort of impressive thing. I think most people do read faster than most people read out. So the voice acting has to be pretty good to be worth like halving the rate at which you go through the dialogue. So I wasn't skipping it, but I didn't particularly want to listen to all the voice acting. Especially in a game like this where the voice acting is so, again, I don't want to say bad, but so bizarre, like so bizarrely voice acted. Right, so am I done here? I think I'm done here. What should I do? Should I carry on into this new place? I guess so. It's something I've been realizing in the last few years actually about thinking about story players, that I think in the past we've had quite we've treated it like a dichotomy. Like there are story players who engage with absolutely everything, and read all lore books fanatically, and read all dialogue, and memorize all lore, and know the exact detail. You know, they know who Eternum is, and you know that sort of thing. And then also there are like filthy spacebarring PVMers who know nothing about lore and don't care about anything, and think that Krill is called Zamorak. And skip all cutscenes and don't read lore books and spacebar all dialogue and don't have any idea what's going on in any quest they do. And actually, those like neither of those, like there are people who fit in both of those categories, but most people are in the middle, and sort of, you know, how much lore they read sort of varies. How much dialogue they read sort of varies, just depending on how interesting it is and depending on how engaged they're feeling with the story. So in this case, like for example, like I'm interested in the lore of this game to an extent. I'm not super interested in the lore of this game as yet. It hasn't done anything amazing to engage me. It's thrown a lot of nouns at me. The dialogue is badly written and badly delivered, so it's not like enjoyable to experience in its own right. So it isn't like you know, kind of must have, if you see what I mean. So like, you know, the more the game engages me, the more I will be interested in it, and over time I will become more interested in it. And it's kind of designed to work that way, I get the impression,
You're
right?
tarnished, aren't you? Then perhaps you could spare some runes. Believe it or not, I studied glintstone sorceries at the Academy of Rhea Lucaria. For a small donation, I'd be happy to share my knowledge.
There's no Grace here, no, so I can't talk.
Well, bless you, bless you. You're a true saint. My name is Topes. Presuming you're interested, I can teach you sorceries, as promised. Only, none of them are particularly great.
Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Actually, those do suck.
Apologies, friend. I'm afraid my meager sorceries are no match for your generosity. All right. I can tell you what I know about this place. That should help a bit. You've seen that structure to the north, towering over the water. That's the Academy of Rhea Lucaria, where we study glintstone sorceries. Only its doors have been closed for quite some time now. After they declared they wouldn't interfere with the shattering, the Academy cast repelling seals on the east gate leading to the capital, and the south gate leading here. As you might have guessed, the seals are still active, making entry to the Academy impossible without a glintstone key. And so I'm stuck here. A fledgling sorcerer with little chance of acquiring a key. When they cast the seals, I'd just popped out. And now I'm uprooted from my place of learning. You've taken an apprenticeship with Selen. Well, that is something.
This guy's talking a bit faster and a bit more engagingly.
The most promising sorceress in the history of the Academy. I followed her at school. but there may as well have been an ocean between us. But Selen was expelled from the academy, accused of unthinkable treatment of certain sorcerers, under the name of the Graven Witch. I still don't believe the
Graven.
accusations. The illustrious Selen would never do such things. Why not find yourself a glintstone key? Without one, you can't pass through the academy, and you'll never reach the Erdtree capital. And if you find an extra glintstone key, perhaps, once you've tied up all your loose ends, and I can be very patient, would you consider donating it to me? I know it. I'm a bluntstone. Nary a hint of talent for sorcery. But still, my place is at the academy.
I'm assuming I'll repeat if I ask him again. Yeah, he's alright. He's a decent NPC. I'd listen to what he had to say. But the guy in the office is just talking in a really unengaging way, like. I don't know. Yeah, it's tricky, really. I don't. Again, like, you know, I'll caveat as always that like I find this a very strange and difficult game to criticize, but I don't think unengaging lore can ever be a positive. Like, I mean, you know, like this game. Sorry, well, I mean Dark Souls, right? But this is following the Dark Souls formula. Delivers lore in a really interesting and engaging way by sort of dripping it in here and there. Although, I mean, I'll tell you actually, I haven't read any item descriptions because don't you have to? Yeah, like you have to switch mode and then specifically go through and read them, and it's kind of weird. So like, I'm sure there's all sorts of lore in these, but you know, I'll wait for Vati. It's fine. I don't need to like, you know, like. It's presented. That's a hyper. That's a like a hyper fan way of presenting lore, right? Like, if I'm 16 and I'm on a forum and my hobby is engaging with the lore of FromSoft games, then I can pore over these item descriptions and try to make sense of them, and that's fine. It works well, but like, that's an unengaging way of presenting a story, you know. Did I hear something? Oh, hello. Oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Blimey. Why has that guy got so much more health than the others? Ah! Oh, because they're wizards and he's a melee, right? Yeah, okay. That does make sense. Jesus. Oh no, they're getting up again. Wait, why didn't the other one get up again? Did I accidentally smash it without even noticing? The best way to deliver lore is through OST lyrics. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it can work well. Yeah. What's an example of that done well? I mean, I'm not super like anime fluent. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, obviously the credit sequence from the best lore delivery of all time is the credit sequence from Cowboy Bebop, right? There's an uncontroversial statement. Like, it's interesting. Like, if you go watch Cowboy Bebop on Netflix, it skips the end credits. And Cowboy Bebop without watching the end credits every time is a completely different experience. Oh god, let's just go somewhere else. Ah! This place is the worst. Is that everything? I think there's anything else. Why would I want to watch a bad show? Not the new Cowboy Bebop, the old Cowboy Bebop. No More Heroes did it for a character that just sings her backstory. Oh god, what have I done? Yeah, the old Cowboy Bebop tells a story in its end credits, and it's sort of like a flashback. You sort of see snippets of what's happening, and it's not entirely clear. And it like because the story that appears to be being told in the flashback is very different to the story that's being told to you in the game. You know, like sorry, not in the game, in the actual story itself. It's very, very different. So it hints that there's more going on in a really effective way. So where, am I supposed to go down there then? How am I going to get down there? No, yeah, so the reason I mentioned on Netflix is because Netflix skips the credits. Like when I watched Cowboy Bebop, it was on DVD, because it was back in the day. But, oh, go down that way, okay. But if I recommend, like people watched the new version and they're like, and so obviously a lot of people were being recommended to go and watch the original that had never watched the original because it was better. But then when I went and tested it out so I could recommend it to someone, I discovered to my horror that it skips the credits by default. Is that where I'm going? Down there? That doesn't look like a safe drop to me. Yeah, no, Cowboy Bebop's good. I mean, it's not. I mean, well, nothing's perfect, right? It's not. It has a lot of weird anime conventions in it. The characters are constantly hungry. There's martial arts in it for no reason. There's like an annoying child character for no reason. You know, it's got a lot of like anime tropes. So the female lead just walks around in a swimsuit the entire time. But you know, it's good. A lot of filler episodes, I would say. I'm sure Cowboy Bebop purists would find that offensive, but I thought it had a lot of filler. But yeah, because I used to live with a guy who was really into anime back in like 1999, and Cowboy Bebop was fairly new just then, and he was oh, you gotta watch this, it's really good. And obviously I enjoyed it because it was really good, and he was like, yes, now you like anime, watch all this other anime, and everything else was terrible. Ah, you've got a oh, neat. Because he's a guard of like the Wizards Academy, he can do magic. That's great. Simple but great. I like it. I didn't like Akira. I found that absolutely baffling when I watched Akira. Not when it came out, nothing like that. But you know, in the 90s, and it was bizarre and didn't like it at all. I think it had like, I mean, now when I talk to like manga fans nowadays, they're like, oh yeah. If you talk to anime fans, they're like, oh, anime's so good, you should watch it. And if you talk to manga fans, they're like, no, anime's trash, because all they do is just cut the story down to try and squeeze it into an hour, and you don't get any of the subtlety of any of the characters, which of course is what book fans say of movie adaptations. So it seems to be very similar. But then I'm like, okay, so why am I watching this then? I watched Gantz Zero, That was terrible. Terrible's too strong, but it was very mediocre. Yeah! Oh, this is what I want. Ah, check out my set of surcoats. Yeah. I want a nice black surcoat. That'd be good. Is there anything actually in this? I really dislike anime tropes, which makes me wonder if I don't like anime. Well, I was theorizing on Discord a couple of weeks ago, like, the thing about anime... Sorry, I'm overgeneralizing slightly, but only slightly. The thing about anime is that all of the major anime genres are all just sub... which appears to be a Japanese cultural thing, based on my understanding of what sells and doesn't sell in Japan. That they like characters that are about... They like things which are about young people and the concerns of young people. They're not just sold to children. Like, it looks like things that are sold to children, but they actually sell to adults as well. So, like, you've got, like... but you can make the same accusation of, say, superhero movies. Like, the dominant culture in the West at the moment is, like, you know, superhero movies and things that are like superhero movies. But to me, despite that, you know, you can accuse something like of say James Bond, which is a kind of classic sort of fantasy, not fantasy, like empowerment fantasy action movie, right? You could accuse James Bond of being childish. You could say this is not a film for adults. This is a film for children. But and I would have some time for that criticism. And obviously, I work in like RPGs and genre fiction and stuff, right? And it's all about like, I have a sword and I go and I kill monsters with it. And it's not like great literature by any means. But to me there is quite a difference between, like, if you take like Casino Royale, right? The first Craig, what was his name? I'm getting confused. Daniel Craig. The first Daniel Craig Bond movie was a very grim and serious film about an old man. And that's totally different to like a child wielding a great sword fights against demons, you know, like they're just so radically different from each other, even though you could accuse them both of being kind of childish. And maybe it is all tropes, right? Maybe it is all just like, if you grew up with like children wielding great swords, it's just a normal thing that happens. But I don't know, I can't like... I realise again that like Western media is not in a good place in this regard either, if you look at like the Star Wars sequels. But just in general, I feel like for the most part the common tropes of anime, and again there are definitely anime that breaks these, but the common tropes of anime sort of preclude what I think of as good world building, because there's a basic illogic to the setting. And I can't take something seriously if it's cartoonish. Like Nier Automata, I absolutely cannot take seriously from a world-building point of view. It's ridiculous, and I don't really get people are like, oh, it has this incredible world, and like it looks cool, like the environment design's good, and the sound design is good, but the actual world building is insane and ridiculous and doesn't make any sense. And you know, the fact that it's fundamentally about blind androids that have no reason to be shaped like androids, that think something that doesn't make any sense, that have like telekinetically controlled swords. It's just all just nonsense. I can't take it seriously for even a second. I don't know about, so apparently Nia, like oh, what's his mod name? I can't remember. One of the Lord Council, can't remember his mod name. He's super into Nia, the first Nia. And he's always recommending it to people. And so I haven't played it at the time. That was before the remake was out. I read through the synopsis of it, and that sounds much more grounded in its design. You say you assure me that humans would make androids that are hot. I mean, I can believe that, unless they're combat androids, and in which case, and regardless, why would they make them into 9-year-old boys? Like, it's just bizarre. Like, why are the male androids 9-year-old boys? It's just so odd. Everything about it is so odd. What am I doing here? I'm just wandering around rambling about anime. I think to me, I mean, I guess like I don't know. I think it's partly just me. Like to me, like part of the is this safe to walk on, or am I going to suddenly plummet off an edge and die? It looks safe to walk on. To me, part of the point of world building is to sort of explain things. Okay, I think actually I would go further, and I think I go slightly too far in this regard. That to me, the point of storytelling is to explain things, and I think that's probably quite an extreme position. But like when I look at something like Stephen King or H.P. Lovecraft, who are like imaginative story writers who write incoherent nonsense, basically. Like, I don't mean they're bad stories. I mean they're incoherent stories. They don't really make sense. And that's part of the point, right? They're writing horror. It's supposed to be unexplained and unexplainable and weird. But I don't think it's uncontroversial to say that Stephen King's world building is nowhere near as good as his prose. To me, like the point of doing this stuff, the point of world building in particular, is to kind of say, like, you can start with the trope. Like you start, like we start with the trope, like. Common anime story would be super strong female android, doesn't know she's an android, expert in all weapons, has to find and defeat the leader of a corporation who is also a ninja, right? That's like just totally normal anime setup. So for me, then you get like, okay, so that's where we want to be. That's the thing we want to make. That's what we our artist really likes drawing super sexy female android ninjas. And our other artist just has this really cool idea for this CEO badass ninja character, and so that's the story that we're telling. In which case, my job as the writer then is to explain why that is happening. Like, why doesn't she know she's an android? How does that possibly make any sense? Why does she look like that? How does that possibly make sense? Why like
You're new around here. Surprised you found me. No matter. Why don't you? Oh, but don't ask.
Astrologer costume. Kite shield. Is that better than what I have? Don't know. An S-stock. I don't think I've got one of those. And some more smithing stones. Lantern. I found one somewhere. I already have one. I found one in a cave. There it is. Yeah. Now I'm a lantern. What am I doing? I'm farming up souls so I can go and upgrade my my claymore. That's what I'm doing. I don't think I have enough yet, so why don't I carry on for a bit? Oh, this is glintstone, right? Yes, of course. So they built their magic academy in the middle of the glintstone swamp or whatever. Makes sense. There is a map here. Nearby. Hey, buddy. Yeah, like to me, like the first and primary job of the world building is, or like so I guess yes. So the bit that's very much subjective to me is that to me the first priority of the story is to do coherent world building, and I think other people would say, just as rightly, that the first priority of the story is to actually tell an engaging and emotionally moving story, which is fair enough. Like, I think a lot of people would rather have that, but I think we've got kind of two audiences, right? I think that's a little bit what's come with some of the Extinction feedback. I think it is a bit divided into like people who were really into it, and I think the people who were really into it, like I watched Sick Ned's playthrough, and that was really interesting because he didn't like the intro, but after that he was really into it, and I think the good character writing in Act 2 and Act 3 really captured his imagination, and so he completely stopped complaining about everything. He didn't even complain about the 2D cutscenes after the first one. So he was like, that emotional character-based storytelling really drew him in. And actually, like, although there is a lot of lore in the big cutscenes, I don't think it's unfair to say that like Extinction isn't concerned with lots of little lore in the same way that As an Adra Quest did. So you can see like my priorities in As an Adra Quest, which I mostly wrote, were like how can I tick off as much lore as possible? And I don't think at any point as an Adra quest really makes you feel emotionally engaged with the characters. Oh, sorry, that was a tangent. But yeah, certainly when you get to the point of the world building, the point of the world building is to engage the audience. This is. I hope there aren't just random treasures just scattered throughout the swamp, because if there are, I'm never going to find them. I mean, in theory, yeah, Sackett said, I wonder if there's a sweet spot. I think in principle you just should do both. Like, that's the ideal, is that you do both. But they are quite different skills, and I think it's rare to have someone who just does both. Like, for me, like, genuinely as a writer, I think it's a flaw in me as a writer that I can't write these emotionally engaging character stories. And I think I need to... I think I need to work on it, and I need to practice. I don't do it by instinct. Whereas Raven and Shrike, for example, both... just that's what writing is to them. They write engaging character stories. So that stuff, I don't want to say it's effortless to them, that's really underselling the work that they put in. But their instinct is to do that, you know. So when they sit down to write a quest, they're talking about, you know, what emotional journey does the character go on, you know. How do I, like, so the stuff with Vicendathas, and Kerapak was mostly, but not entirely, Raven. And the stuff with, like, Moira and Adrastea and Seren's development during the quest was mostly Shrike. And essentially none of it was me. Sakith said, doesn't doing both result in usage of more resources? No, not really. I wouldn't have said so. No, like in principle. I mean, it depends what you mean. Like if you're trying to correct for it, say, yeah. So the situation at Jagex we've got right now is, you know, like say me and Shrike are working on something together. I'm good at world building. She's good at storytelling. I think that's probably a fair way to phrase it. So it does. So if we were to work on something together, then in a literal sense, yes, it's taken twice as many people. We probably don't need to both work on it full time, so it hasn't taken. It's not literally double. But it is certainly more effort than one person working on something. But you know, like I mean, I guess my point for myself is like, you know, I feel like I want to learn to do that, so that I can tell a complete story that has good lore and world building and good emotional engagement together. You know, and I think writers should aspire to do both. And a writer who can't do one of those things is lacking a skill and should learn that skill. And assuming that you can do both, then it doesn't take. That's the thing, right? It's about careful, clever writing, like a good. If I got enough souls now to go and upgrade my claymore, I probably have. A good writer. Sorry, that's a really oversimplified way of phrasing it. I hate when people frame it like that. A thing that a writer can do. That's a much better way of framing it. Is do characterization and world building at the same time, right? Like I'm fairly good, not brilliant, but fairly good.
I didn't want to be doing my job. Just lay out your...
At not what am I trying to say? Not. I don't just do exposition dumps. I introduce the lore. I can introduce relatively complex lore through characterful dialogue rather than just dumping it. And that's a skill that I've learned over practicing it, you know. Right, Claymore, level up. Claymore, level up. Oh, no, I've run out of souls already. Well, great. Okay, well I can use the Claymore for a bit while I'm farming. Not farming, exploring, I guess, in this case. So where... Wait, did I not? Oh, I see, yes, I got... So I've got... What a weird map. I found a map that unlocked all of this, but none of that. How strange. There's someone there. Finger reader. Oh, that one was marked there as well. Finger reader crone. Is that like her? Ah, okay. I don't know what the significance those have, but it must have some significance. Sorry, I was rambling, wasn't I? Anyway, yeah, that's my frustration with something like Nier Automata, and I think it applies to a lot. Sorry, I sort of lumped Nier Automata in with anime there, but you know exactly what I mean, right? It's the storytelling and world building and character design are all very anime styles, right? It has that sort of, I don't know if there's a better word to use than anime, but it has that sort of style to it. Um, and yeah, and I don't think Nier Automata does the work. It's creative, it's imaginative in the sense, like, it's imaginative in that sort of wild, untamed sort of I put ideas down and they were all insane, you know, sort of sense. But to me, it doesn't do. To me, that's like the first half of the job, and the second half of the job is where you, like, okay, I've had all these wild ideas. Now, how do I piece them together and turn them into something coherent and whole? Which isn't to say that I mind those things existing. Like, you know, like, for my kind of writing, and I think there is definitely an audience for that, is taking ideas. Like, you know, I mentioned King and Lovecraft because they've been hugely influential on horror tropes. You know, like, I was thinking about. I don't know if there's a different example, but I think Carrie might be the first. You know, like, say you're like a creature that develops superpowers. Superpowers or powers, maybe sort of horror powers, like in Carrie she's kind of telekinetic, right? Or in a traditional werewolf story, your werewolf powers start to develop in puberty. And I think Carrie might be the first origination of that trope, of using the development of like powers as a euphemism for puberty and the horror of puberty. You know, like your body changes and you don't understand what's happening to you. That's kind of Carrie is like kind of a metaphor about that. Oh, see ya. And I think that was Stephen King, and so like it's that kind of, like, you know, regardless of whether I like his world building or not, that kind of like having really good ideas and then shipping them is great, because other people then get to inherit those ideas. You know, they get contributed to the general sort of cultural milieu. Why is this guy just running away from me? How annoying. And then other writers can come along and tell other versions of the story. You know, they can retell the story in a way that has better world building or makes more sense in that version. You know, like the Malefactor's Ever Jail. That sounds bad. I don't think I'll go in there. Arkweld, sorry, I don't know what you mean. I don't know about this. I think the Claymore will probably be okay. I'm slightly nervous about using the Claymore in a boss fight, but I think my sort of dodge-heavy combat style, I think it will probably work fairly well with. Because I tend to dodge for an opening and then stab. But yeah, so I guess I can't, like, I don't mean thinking of, I'm using Nier Automata as an example, right? Just because it's a useful example to think about. But like, I don't mean like, oh, Nier Automata is bad. But when someone's, and I don't even necessarily mean like Nier Automata should have done the work and wasn't in a releasable state. Every creator has to decide what they're going to focus on, right? Like, different stories focus on different things, and different works and games focus on different things, and like, you can't do everything, and you shouldn't try to do everything. But it confuses me when someone says something like, oh, Nier Automata has just this amazing world and world building. That really confuses me, because I just don't know where they're coming from, and their definition of great world building is so different from mine. Like, I don't, it's fine, you know, my point of view is like, it's fine for them to not focus on the world building, and thus not have very good world building as a result. But then it's confusing to me when someone sort of highlights that as a strength. Oh, these are the tiny men I saw earlier, right? I wasn't. They look tiny. I guess that's what some of these guys. Oh, God. I feel like this would be quite a different fight if I wasn't on horseback. My headset is hurting my head for some reason. Why is it? What time is it? It's quarter to midnight. Should probably not play for too long. Get a good night's sleep. Yeah. I think that's about all I have to say about it. So like I said, I'm procrastinating creating a city map for my floating high arm city. I've had a lot of fun coming up with lore. Oh, hang on. I find it very confusing knowing which side of the horse to swing. I had a lot of fun coming up with lore and world building for why there's this floating city in the sky that's invisible to those that have valid reason to enter. I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to creating the map. Using the map tool I have just frustrates me. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the counterpoint to what I've just been saying. Is like, what do they call it? Like world builder syndrome. I mean, it depends what you're doing it for. Like, if you're just enjoying building a world. I think I mentioned this in the last live stream. Like, it's been nice for me to do world building and have that world building be well received, because I grew up as being like feeling guilty for doing world building because it's not actually, you know, like the successful authors tend not to be the ones that focus on world building. But it is actually a skill, and it is actually a legitimate skill. And if it's something that you enjoy doing, it's not bad use of time. But if the world building is in service of something, like you want to actually eventually run a D&D campaign or write a novel or make a game or whatever, then it is definitely possible to do too much world building and be too perfectionist about it. I've definitely had projects which are just sort of completely brick walled because I'm just like, I can't explain this thing. And I know that if I did have to sit down on if I did have to sit down and like argue with someone on Discord about it, I wouldn't be able to defend it, right? And that's one of the things I've had to kind of get used to at work, is just saying, yeah, actually, you know what? I didn't think of that. Like, quite a lot of times people will be like, well, why didn't we just do this? And I'm like, oh, yeah, because I didn't think of it, sorry. And that's just part of storytelling, right? For your D&D campaign, it's been a month, you're still not done. Yeah, I mean, yes, if you're setting yourself a time limit of some sort, like that's ultimately what the only reason I ever get anything done is because I either have a time limit imposed on me or somehow manage to trick myself into believing that I have a time limit. I mean, I'm having that problem right now. Like my current out of work project is my Arkham Horror campaign. I haven't had much time to focus on it because obviously work's been very busy because of recent changes to my role, and so I haven't been getting as much done with it. But I'm not, like, it's finished and it's playable. I think it took me 2 years to get it finished and playable, which is a bit frustrating because in the meantime, when I started working on it, I was like the only person making the thing that I was making. And since I started, there've been like 5 highly rated versions of a similar sort of thing, and now mine is just kind of a has-been. Like, it doesn't really stand out in the pack, which is a bit frustrating. But like, you know, based on that, like, I'm like, right, well, I want to get some feedback and implement it and improve it and blah 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 blah. But actually, like, is that just perfectionism? Like, it is technically finished and playable. I don't need to make changes to it. I have had negative feedback. If it was, you know, I mean, that's one of the, like, it's part of the reason why I have a slightly blasé attitude to fixes. I don't want to say important bug fixes, but like minor fixes, like minor lore fixes and stuff. It's like I think some players are like so I see repeated on Reddit quite often a comment along the lines of like, stop moving forward and fix the stuff you already have. And when it is like a critical bug, I don't mean to oversell it. When it's a significant bug, like something that's really affecting the enjoyment the players have of the game, you know, this piece of content exists and I can't enjoy it because there's something about it that's just awful. I'm not talking about like minor QOL issues, but like a serious issue. Or it could be like a serious imbalance issue that's sort of providing too much stuff, something like that. In that kind of situation, I do think we need to stop and fix the thing. But actually, I think the kind of person that's asking for that kind for smaller fixes is the kind of person who is kind of a perfectionist and would rather see, you know, the existing thing like filled with it endlessly, rather than a new thing made. And actually, like, certainly from a business point of view, if it's your own private project, you can just endlessly fiddle with it. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. But when it's a business thing, that's just not an option. I don't have that option. Like, endlessly fiddling with old content doesn't make the majority of our players want to pay their membership fee. If we spent a year just like, I don't know, reworking Ixalarion's Little Helper and similar, we would lose all of our subscribers. Well, not all of them, but most of them. And the people that think that we wouldn't are just not realistic. It was kind of the idea of the Ninja team. Yes, it was. And but like that's the thing. Like the Ninja team, I don't want to say they've run out of things to do because they haven't. But over time, as they fix high impact issues, it becomes harder. Probably shouldn't have engaged this group again, should I? Bloody hell. Sackett said, "Oh, that sucks." I assume that's for my thing being for my thing not standing out anymore, and then come up with something original. So the issue is, sorry. So let me try and clarify. So Arkham Horror is organised into 8 scenario campaigns, and there are 4 or 5 of them now that are official. No, more than that actually. Oh, there's a statue here. Oh, that's handy. Wait, why didn't I trigger that last time? That's weird. And so there are players making their own content for the game. And at the time I started making mine, no one else was willing to commit to an 8 scenario campaign because that's insane. That's a terrible idea. Like, you might not finish it. And in fact, it took me 2 years, These guys are dangerous. Didn't you know I killed Margit? How are you dangerous? Oh, it's that bloody fire attack. I'm obviously dealing with it in the wrong way, but... Oh, my fat rolling. Didn't even notice. Well, I got too much create. Oh, yes, because I put my... Did I put the equip the claymore and not actually check that I was underweight? What have I done? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, Jesus. Wait, hang on. How did that happen? Oh, because I wasn't using the large shield with it before. What am I going to do about that? Because I don't really want to stop using my tower shield. I guess I could. Yeah, I probably should. I'll do it, won't I? Yeah, there we go. Sorry, so no one was making 8 scenario campaigns, because what a ridiculous commitment. So I started out making one, and obviously several well-meaning people sent me messages saying, you shouldn't do this is insane. And I said, yeah, it's alright, I know what I'm doing. Like, I might not finish it, and if I don't finish it, I don't finish it. I'm well used by now to, like, having projects. Oh yeah, that helps a lot actually, having a proper roll. How did I not notice that? I got talisman that increases my equipment load. Oh, I should put that on because that's definitely a thing that I want. Then I could wear a helmet. I feel like I'm just not fighting this guy correctly. Like, whatever it is I'm doing, it's not the right strategy. I can't block his attacks with my shield. I can run away from his fire, but that just doesn't intuitively feel like the correct thing to do. Wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, anyway, so now I finished my campaign now, but there are multiple other 8 scenario campaigns already completed, and one of them in particular is significantly more, I think imaginative is probably the right word. It does something crazy. It's the one I was streaming actually, I don't know if any of you saw it. I was streaming, it was the future and I was on a spaceship. And I'd woken up from cryosleep, and it was an imaginative premise for a game set in the 1920s. And it's full of puzzles and very creative, and it provides a very different experience to the core game experience, whereas mine was specifically intended to provide an experience very similar to the core game. Like I was aiming to make something that was sort of fit, you know. So then actually that's now become the darling, deservedly so. It's good, and it's offering people an experience they can't get elsewhere, so everyone wants to play it. Whereas mine is like, here's more of the same, like high quality, I would argue, but more of the same, which obviously has less like, oh, I must play it kind of appeal. What was it doing? Talisman. That one raises maximum equipment load to what? 66. Does that let me put my tower shield back on? Yes, nice. Does it let me also put my helmet on? No. No, it does not. Sure. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just rambling. Is that the... No. Is that the tower there, way up there? I've got no idea what I'm doing in this place. I should probably go kill another boss or something. Like, I've got loads of bosses that I haven't killed yet. You'd think there'd be a save point somewhere around here. This looks like a place where there might be a save point. So yeah, anyway, but like, and then I got some negative feedback. Like the strength of my campaign, well, the lore writing is solid. Like everyone who's played it's complimented that. It has a lot of text, but the text is quite high quality. But the unique strength of it mechanically is that it's very, very carefully balanced difficulty. Like it's very, very tight, tense difficulty experience which punishes you without killing you. And I've had quite a lot of negative feedback on that of people who weren't expecting it to be so challenging. So I need to go back through and take out some of the more frustrating mechanics, and I've put in a generalized like a kind of easy mode, basically, like a universal easy mode, and then I'll say at the start, like, look, this is balanced to be quite punishing and challenging. If you're not interested in that, if that's not what you're coming to this content for, then maybe play easy mode. You can see the academy from anywhere. Oh, actually, I mean, you know what I should do? I should go and get the thing that gives infinite smithing stones. Is that... No, that's not the academy, that's the capital, right? That's the academy. So it is... Oh, it's over in this corner. Okay, so I just can't see it on the map yet. That's interesting. Oh, and that cliff has gone away. Okay, so I'm down at the swamp level now. So yeah, so anyway, so like at the moment I feel like it's in quite... My campaign is in quite a mediocre place where... there is an audience for it, but that audience aren't engaging. Like the people who want that challenging tactical situation is a good audience for it, but they're not really engaging with it. And the people who are looking for the story experience can't engage with it because it's too difficult. So I need to go through, if I want people to play it and enjoy it, I need and for people to sort of enjoy the storytelling of it, I need to go through and like rebalance it basically. Sakid said, how do you feel about the implementation? Oh, sorry, you said something else up before that I didn't respond to because I was rambling. I think the complaint isn't that you're not fixing things to perfection, but mostly that nothing is being fixed to near perfection and there's no middle ground. I don't... okay, so... Well, I mean, so let me be clear. Like, yeah, there are some bugs that should have been fixed that haven't been fixed. I think that's just to do with our processes. And our processes are set up badly to deal with that, and I'd like to fix that to make sure that stops happening. But I don't think it's the case. I mean, like there are quality issues, right? Like some people are going to say, like, oh, well, the 2D cutscenes in Extinction represent a severe quality issue that needs to be fixed. And like, I don't think that it is true that it is an unfinished piece of content that needs fixes. So, like, there are problems that should have been fixed. Often it's a case of ambition. Like, I think it's not unreasonable to say that we have a habit of shipping either... Oh, he had a much longer face than I expected. I wasn't expecting quite so much stale to come out of that shell. We tend to ship either overly ambitious, unpolished content or polished, less ambitious content. And it's very difficult to draw a middle ground there. Like someone like Mod Orion, for example, or Mod Ramen often, will just like just absolutely go for it, but then they'll be trying to squeeze way too much into the project in order to achieve that. So from a software engineering point of view, it's bad, but from an ambition and like player pleasing point of view, it's good. Whereas other more conservative developers won't. Why did I just do that with my shield? What? How did I just do that? I don't know what button I just pushed to use my shield. That was weird. Huh. Let's see. But I don't like. I mean, again, like obviously, you know, with like say with the release of the Archglysaur, there were critical problems that needed to be fixed, and I don't want to deny that. But I don't think it would be correct to say that the content is in a bad place. There are still obviously fixes that could be made to it, but I think the content is doing its job well, and investing time into polishing it more. I'm not saying no time is warranted, but I would probably move on and implement new content over fixing Archglysaur more at this point. Yeah, archaeology was very good. It was very ambitious and very polished. Yeah. I think it's like, I think there's just a kind of strange expectation that comes from some players sometimes. It's especially confusing to me when I look back at the past and we think about like, people say like, oh, you shipped so much content in 2011, and like, go back and look at that 2011 content, and it's very inconsistent in its quality and not necessarily polished at all. Might not work at all. Or it's good because of something that was an accident, you know, or good because of something that actually was a bad idea. That sort of thing.
Oh, well.
Is that Patches? Oh, hello,
It's
Patches.
been a long while. It's me. I'm still in business. Now I'm my only supplier. Patches Emporium.
Alright, sure,
By the
Patches.
way, have you met that girl, Raya?
Dunno.
She's a strange one, but I believe she was in need of help. Not that it's any of my business, but if she rings your bell, why not lend?
I don't know who you're talking about.
You're making your way. Well, I heard something. Have you ever seen an iron? The clunky contraptions are whirlwinds of. But long ago, they were. And get this, a surviving virgin sits its transposition. So right, if you, it'll chuck you out straight at the base of the earth.
That sounds like a terrible plan.
Oh yeah. Great. There's a surviving. I heard.
I mean, I guess that's my objective, but that sounds like an absolutely awful thing to do. Alright, what's Patches got? An S stock. Oh, the other guy had an S stock. I should buy Patches S stock. I need to help him out. Oh, except I was supposed to be saving up. Just to buff my greatsword, wasn't I? Never mind. I'm amazing at remembering what I'm doing. With the amount of content 2011, had you been more easily forgiven for inconsistent? Yeah, no, that's a question I ask a lot. Like, that's a thing that I talk about internally a lot. Is like, our processes are significantly more robust than they were, but those processes reduce efficiency. Like, ensuring that nothing goes wrong is extremely expensive. And I mean, you know, some people might laugh at the idea of nothing going wrong, but like, it's been a long time since we had to do a rollback, right? And like, like, bugs go live, but critical bugs don't go live. Like stuff that crashes the server or necessitates a rollback. Okay. Oh, that's cute. Kind of artificial, but... Yeah, oh, so OS has a different development policy, like, that's kind of my point. Like, RS3 develops content in quite a different way to OS. OS has chosen to prioritize...
Over here.
Um,
Hello.
are you Rhea?
It's rather chilly here, isn't it?
You look similar
My
to someone I met
mistress sent me
before.
off on an errand, but I was accosted. Could I ask you lend a hand? That thug made off with only he too is tarnished. If you've any qualms,
No, I'll be fine.
thank you dearly. What a blessing that we've met like this. The thug should be please.
Okay, sure. You seem
The
trustworthy.
thug should be please.
It's a trade. It's a trade-off, right? And my personal feeling is I think we've gone too far in the direction of care. That sounds like a strange way to phrase it, but like we're slightly too careful, because clearly that process is not producing absolutely bug-free content. Like that's obviously not the case. So in that sense, like it's not like, well, we only produce content occasionally, but that content is hyper polished, because it isn't hyper polished. So I think that the trade-offs there aren't quite right. Yeah, I think our players like, but then if you look back at 2011, like that's so in 2011 the trade-off was very different. Like Saki's question was like, well, essentially like quantity is its own kind of quality, right? The Stalin's approach to shipping content for RuneScape is like just ship loads of content, and some of it will be a hit. And we could restructure again to make content that way. We could essentially just let each dev do whatever the hell they like, with a minimum amount of supervision, and just see what happens. Oh, this is shrimp. This is a giant shrimp. That's slightly less cool than a giant crab, but cool anyway. Oh, there's lots of giant shrimps. Blimey. So that's the thing, right? Like if we wanted to go to, and then I talk a lot on the Discord server about like borrowing from the future and stuff, right? And one of the other things that, oh God, I'm trying to get to the place where the map marker was. It seemed to be sort of in this sort of direction, but I can't check the map while I'm in combat. One of the things that 2011 did was, no, that's nowhere near the right place. Why don't I put a marker down? Not planning is cheaper than planning. Not thinking through how your lore is going to connect up in the future is cheaper than thinking through how it's going to connect up in the future, right? Not balancing your rewards is, if you go back and look at so I haven't gone through and done this, but I would be extraordinarily surprised if this wasn't true, that the rewards that were given out in 2011 are essentially random in whether or not they're good. That some of them are probably amazing and some of them are probably useless. And that's because neither of them is even remotely balanced, rather than because it was designed to be good or bad. So you could say, like, well, if we chuck out 2 updates, and one of them is good and one of them is bad, that's as good as one good update. You could say that. Is that true? I think some players would agree and some players would disagree. Like some would rather just have any old crap, as long as at least some of it's good. So like I said, I liked it when devs had the option to work on whatever, because it felt like Scattershot produces more unique pieces of content. Narrative influence updates make areas like Sen and Anachronia feel larger as a whole than as their parts. Yeah, I mean that's the exact two approaches contrasted there, right? Like RuneScape, I talked about this when I was streaming Doom, I think, but like RuneScape is effectively structured. Old RuneScape is effectively structured as like a series of. Okay, so that's the academy there. But I don't have the thing I need to get into it, and I don't have any way of knowing where to go to get it. I guess maybe I follow this. I think I'll explore this a bit more when I'm doing something else. What time is it? It's gone midnight. It should stop soon. Zanarin said they think 2 random updates has more appeal than 1 polished boss or quest or skilling thing. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Because like then you end up like look at where we ended up in practice, right? With no oversight, and that's what I'm talking about here. No oversight, because the oversight is the expensive part. We end up with multiple developers promising things they can't deliver on. Like again, looking back into RuneScape's history, like it's like I talk about J.J. Abrams a lot, right? And it's that J.J. Abrams thing again. It's like everybody's quest lines seemed exciting because everybody's quest lines seemed like they were going somewhere. Everyone was building towards some exciting climax. And stop me if I'm wrong. Other than Ritual of the Marjarat, which and I have to keep reminding people, Ritual of the Marjarat took 18 months for 4 developers. That was not like a cheap, quick old update. That was like that took us. Ritual of the Marjarat cost as much as a skill, like a modern, complicated skill. Other than Ritual of the Marjarat, I don't believe any of those quest lines paid off. Is that correct? Am I misremembering something? Vampires didn't pay off, Desert didn't pay off, Gnomes didn't pay off, Dwarves sort of paid off, but people were kind of... No, Elves doesn't count, because Elves... So the point I'm getting to here is, it's not a coincidence that the point at which our content cadence started to plummet, and our processes had to change to get developers to work together to make updates, coincided with the point where people started saying, why is it you're not paying anything off? Like, why are you... It was around that time, right, where like it was like, oh, suddenly game development got hard. Like the honeymoon period was over, and suddenly we'd made a whole massive load of promises, and now I'm oversimplifying slightly because there's more going on there, right? But like, same thing with Cisco's Endgame, right? Like, or like the Endgame series as a whole, it wasn't really planned out. It was sort of semi-planned out. I'm being unfair in saying it wasn't planned out at all, but it was only sort of semi-planned out. And so it was kind of being made up as it went along by multiple developers. The story I gave, this infuriates Raven to this day, is that Ollie wrote the thing into Children of Mar about Zaros. Zaros makes a deal with Zamorak, right? And says, like, you owe me a favour, basically. And Ollie wrote that into Children of Mar with the intention that it would be paid off with Endgame, without asking or even telling Mod Raven that he'd done that. And that's what happens with no communication, right? Oh no, Lanya.
Answer me, would you?
And I think, like, ultimately, like, that kind of cowboy frontier way of developing content, this is why I keep using J.J. Abrams as an example, right? It looks good up front. It looks good at it while you're in the honeymoon period where everything's exciting and everything's going crazy. It feels good, it feels exciting, and then when you get to the point of having to pay it off, that's why my talk talks about Mass Effect 3, right? Because I feel like that's the same sort of example. It's when you have to like pay off that that things start falling apart, because it's not sustainable. I mean, some devs do communicate and some devs don't communicate, right? And the thing is that, like, without any supervision, without any coordination, it tends... You'd be surprised how much this doesn't happen. Like, it's not because they're incompetent, it's just people working on projects. Like, it's hard... Like, communication is a skill as much as anything else, right? We were talking earlier about world building versus emotion. Like, I think that's something that people don't really appreciate. Like, how many different skill sets are involved. And again, you lose efficiency by, like, incorporating all of those different skill sets. Ideally, you want your team to have all of the skills. And if one person doesn't have all of the skills, and I guarantee you there's no human alive that has all the skills, you need to keep adding people to the team until you have all the skills. But we don't necessarily recognise that all those skills are skills. You want an emotional storyteller, you want a world builder, you want someone who's good at mechanics, you want someone who's good at rewards, you want someone who's good at project management, you want someone who's good at, like, giving inspirational speeches, you want someone who's good at like keeping track of everything. That's probably the project manager, like they're, you know, really attention to detail. Yeah, I want to do a live stream. I'd like to do an official live stream on talking through this stuff. The problem is, though, that Twitch and Reddit are kind of a hostile audiences. Imagine me giving this talk on Reddit, right? And they'd be like, stop making excuses. They can't really do much in that sort of, can't really do much in that sort of environment, you know? It just is what it is.
Hello, friend.
Talk to this guy.
Tell me if you know the whereabouts of the hidden house of those despicable fiends. The recusants who hunt. They laid hands upon my servant. The tale of House Hoslo is I, Dialos. They laid hands upon the tale I, Dialos.
Are they talking about the same people, or am I the one who lays hands on the one because I agreed to kill that other person? But yeah, no, I would. I mean, Huli and I have been talking about like doing more like live streams because like that's like I mean, yeah, talking about skills, right? My skill set is very different to Mod Osborne. So Mod Osborne was an inspirational leader type guy. He was really positive. I mean, I know the players love him, but like he was really nice to work with because he was so positive. Like that came across in a personal level as well. Like you felt good, and he made you feel good by interacting with him, right? I don't do that. I'm just not the kind of person I am. I don't make people feel good interacting with me. I'm more about critical quality and analysis and planning, and not planning's not quite the right way of putting it, but you know, like the work was an example, right? I'm good at like spotting details and collating things together and coordinating things. Um, that's my strength, and I'm good at explaining how things work, you know. So like, you know, whereas Osborne could do his job well by like going on a stream and being super enthusiastic and charming and just sort of making everyone feel like everything was in good hands. I feel like my strength is more like, why don't I explain stuff, you know, why don't we get together and talk to the players about like I can explain the economy and I can sort of help people to understand why it is what it is and what would need to be done and what the trade-offs are, that kind of thing. They might, you know, I mean, I'm a little reticent about Twitch and Reddit, but we'll see. I'm not saying I won't do it for that reason. I'm just saying I'm a little nervous about it. But yeah, no, I think there is better. We can do better. I think there are aspects of our processes that could be improved. It's very much not like. I think I worry sometimes when I say like, oh well, that's difficult to fix. That's not what I mean. I don't mean like we're not going to fix it. I more mean like there are people whose perception is sort of like shut up and just do it. Like just do it yesterday. And that's just not anything. I'm just wandering around this place, like seeing if I stumble across anything. There doesn't really seem to be much here. Is that so? So I'm coming up to the actual academy. I guess I should go up to the front door and see what's there. No, I think a live stream is probably the right way to do it because, like, again, my strength is like conversation, right? I'm not going to give a presentation. I'm not really good at making presentations. I'm not going to make a video. Like, I'm not going to record a BTS video about like, but I can chat and ramble and respond. You know, I'm quite good at responding to questions and taking people's concerns seriously and that kind of thing, and sort of. So I think that's probably the right format. How am I going to get up there? Doesn't seem. Is that double jumpable? Oh, it's just double jumpable. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean that's exactly what Julio and I have been talking about. It's just like Mod Jack Rambles type live streams, you know, where it like could even be like a podcast or something a bit less formal. Doesn't necessarily need to be too complicated. I've distracted myself now. I can't remember what was about. Oh, is that the way up? This place is massive. I was talking about skill sets, wasn't I? Yeah, and then like. Because I was saying like how could it possibly be that communication could be that bad? But ultimately, like honestly, that's just a like Ollie, and I think this shows in his content. He was a good leader for his team. Like his team, he really inspired that group. They made great content together. They had a similar outlook. It was Ollie and Ramen and a few other people. Deg, Fred, Avatar, I think his mod name was. And they had a sort of similar, not identical, but similar vision for how the game should work. Similar sort of work attitude of like, you know, we're going to stay in late and get shit done kind of attitude. And they produced a lot of high quality content. I think in the time that they were together, that was the Watch, I think they were called. And that team produced a lot of high quality content. But it also came at a cost, you know, that team. That part of what made them good at what they did was that they had a very strong like vision and weren't necessarily interested in talking about that vision with people outside the team. You know, the team was very tight knit. They would have responded very poorly to my like my sort of overall supervision on Elder God Wars, which has required me to interfere with people a lot, wouldn't have worked with that team at all. Like, they wouldn't have been able to produce, like, Sentistan, because, you know, they weren't super interested in, like, interacting with others. And so, you know, it's kind of, it's difficult. They had a set of skills, and I think it's probably fair to say that, like, for the things they were good at, that team was better than what we're currently able to do, in terms of, like, knuckling down and just banging out quality updates one after another. I don't think we're capable of doing that right now. But that team couldn't have delivered Elder God Wars Dungeon. So it's interesting, like, the strengths and weaknesses, you know, and there is no, like... It's why I find the question, like, well, you could do it then, why can't you do it now, a bit frustrating, you know. Oh, thanks, Sonoran. Yeah, I'm a bit more neurotic about making announcements. Oh, hello.
Ah, there
Oh,
you
it's this guy from the start. Hello.
You claimed a great rune and had your what?
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't seem right.
Your intuition serves you. My doubts had the words of the two fingers cannot truly, naught but I believe.
I wouldn't go that far, mate.
But when the Elden Ring was shattered, the two fingers were corrupted. Even worse, the fingers harbor no. That's the part that.
What, is that tarnished?
Oh, I have a gift for you. A means for circumventing the draw of the two fingers.
Yeah, not sure about this guy.
Give it a try, won't you? And if it please, high.
No, I don't want to do that. That's metal.
Be sure to. There's no. The tarnished was spurned by grace. Your.
He doesn't seem like a goodie. Oh, this is Megan. What is this? Rose Church. Oh, are these those eyeball grape things? No, not. Zaka said, is it fair to see that different teams with different skill sets require different approaches from an upper management perspective? Yes, but it tends to happen quite informally in my experience. Like there'll be an awareness that... Oh, he looks dangerous. It tends to happen quite informally in terms of like, oh, well, this team aren't so good at X, so maybe they could do with some help on that, you know. But it's not like a formal, like, I tried to institute a formal system of that and it went horribly wrong. I tried to institute a sort of like skill set monitoring system, and the way it was implemented, the team self-rated, and the team self-rated in a completely delusional way, so it just didn't work at all. Everyone basically just reported back that they were an expert at everything and never needed any help with anything. So that was a complete waste of time. But yeah, I mean, just in general, like, yeah, I mean, that's certainly the way I do things. I think it's the way a lot of, like, team leader type people do things. It's like, well, you help out with what needs helping out, right? Like, if I'm working with Raven, then I'm going to focus more on the mechanics of the thing and leave him to do more of the writing and lore, depending on what it is. If I'm working with, don't have an example off the top of my head, but like someone who's less into lore, Mod Ryan, then, you know, like Mod Ryan is a much better he knows a lot more about RuneScape than I do. He's a very good, like, intuitive RuneScape mechanics designer. I'm not, I'll question him, you know, I'll ask him why he's done a certain thing and make sure that he's got good answers to the questions, but I'm not going to, like, need to direct him at all. Quite the opposite. Like, he's going to direct me, but then I'll, you know, he'll just say, like with Raksha, like we worked together on Raksha, me and Ryan, and I wrote the lore for him and he wrote the mechanics, and he in no way needed my help with the mechanics, you know. But he was very happy for me to just, like, he had some thoughts about how he wanted the lore to work. Like with Zuck, we worked together on Zuck as well, and so like he had like a core vision. And like the way I think about doing things is, if at all possible, I'll try and respect the developer's vision. So his core vision for Zuck was quite different to mine. The way I thought about the character was that they were sort of a time for running. It says. Something going to attack me? No. the way I thought about Zuck was as a sort of I specifically wanted it to be not the actual Zuck, but Zuck absorbed and regurgitated by the kiln, so Zekar Zuck. But Ryan's vision of who the boss's identity was that it was Zuck, the unique individual, the same person from old school, just with a sword and in a different situation. And so we argued about it for a bit, and in the end I went with his version of it, because like I would prefer to do that where possible, because the developer's happier if there's their vision, right? And I didn't have there was no good business reason why my version was better. It was just a different creative vision. And so, but then I wrote some lore which supported his version. You know, we talked about like, what did he want that character to be like? Who were they? You know, and he had his vision was straightforward, but that was okay because it was a PVM update. It should be straightforward. So those core ideas of like Zuck is extremely competitive and dominant kind of thing. That was Ryan's vision for the character. And then I sort of worked to write lore that excuse me, worked to write lore that supported that character concept. So yeah, sorry. The point I was making is like, yeah, it depends entirely on who you're working with, like what they need help with, or you might find someone else to help them out. You know. And then you know the awkward thing is occasionally there's just no one with the right skill set available, right? Like, like if it might be I'm not super good at like reward design, and I'm not super good at like quest gameplay design is a particular failing of mine. I'm not very good at designing gameplay for quests. Are those floating scarab balls that all contain Arts of War, or is that something else? They look like Arts of War. Is that what those are? Do I need to equip a... Yeah, so yeah, like Mod Sponge is a very good reward designer, right? But he can't be on all projects. That just doesn't work. Oh god, where's it gone? It's disappeared. They despawn, don't they? Damn it. Will it respawn? Oh, hang on. I need to do that, don't I? Like that. Will it respawn if I Oh, is that the one? Just the one that heals all of my flasks, the blue flasks. Are they all like that? Yeah, that's another blue one, isn't it? Oh, it's gonna. I don't even need the bloody crossbow. What the hell? Wait. And like, you know, we can't just wait for every project so that Sponge can design the rewards for it. And we're not currently set up. I don't think our development process would be better if we like hyper specialized and like Sponge only makes rewards and Raven only writes dialogue. I don't think that would work well. Maybe I'm wrong and it would, but I have a feeling that would produce very strange results. And the developers would probably get quite demoralised because they wouldn't have any sort of content to own, you know. Oh, is that a dragon? That is a dragon. Let's give him a marker. Dragon. Can I say a lot of the fondness for the new mods you brought up? They're very passionate, and even though they don't always have the experience, you can tell they mean well in the content they're involved with. Yeah, no, they're great. It sounds kind of mean, but like our content hiring standards have gone up. I think most of the old guard, including me, would agree with that. Like we've we've gotten better at hiring mods, particularly for technical skill, but not limited to that. And so actually, yeah, a lot of the new starters are really good. Like, there's a whole lot, there's you know, Reddit being mean again, but like there's this whole interns meme, and actually it's like, no, they're actually pretty good. Like, give them a bit of experience and they'll be great. Oh, right, I think I probably need to stop. I'm not really doing anything here, am I? Probably need to stop and get to bed. What developer who no longer works at Jagex did you used to look up to in regard to dev work or design philosophy? Ooh. I think most of the ones that I've learned the most from... Oh, I mean, John Aliff. John Aliff is a superb writer. He's the best writer I've ever met in person. And I still need to go back. Like, one of the things I really want to do is go back and do a deep deconstruction of Blood Pact. I never got around to it. I really should. Like I found Blood Pact. Like, Blood Pact is such a simple quest, right? It's a simple combat tutorial with a really simple story. But for some reason, it just immediately captured my attention. Like, it's interesting. I care about these characters after like 4 lines of dialogue. That was the thing he was really good at. Was like, here's 4 lines of dialogue. Now you care about this character and want to know what happens to them. And I just, but sadness. In terms of design, Mark taught me a really important lesson about pushing, but he's still there, but Mark taught me a really important lesson about, like, the designer has to be, like, I have a habit of pushing down. I have a habit of being like, no, we can't do that. But actually, we have a whole department full of people who are all too willing to tell you what isn't possible. And the designer has to be the one that kind of uncomfortably pushes people to say, like, well, maybe we should try. And that way, if you always go with the least, if you start with the least ambitious take. Sorry, I sound like I'm being mean to developers. That's not how I mean it. Developers will generally err on the side of safety and caution because they're the ones that have to implement it. So if you ask them to do something that's a pain in the ass, they'll say, like with RuneScape, that would be making an interface. They'll be like, can we not? Can we just do something easier? The concrete example I have of that was like, I wanted Gower Quest to give 15 quest points. And the dev said, I thought it would be really funny if it gave 15 treasure hunter keys, 15 quest points, and 15 gold. I thought that'd be hilarious. And the dev who was doing it said, I don't want to do 15 quest points because that will tick us over into the next quest point threshold. And that hasn't been implemented yet, so that requires a complete rework of the quest point system. And like, so that's that the developer was not being unreasonable or lazy in saying that. They were like, look, I signed up to make a quest. I did not sign up to rework the quest point interface just so that you can have a gag, have a number gag, you know? It's not worth it. It's not funny enough. I think we did give the 15 gold pieces, didn't we, in the end? But like the 15 quest points didn't happen. And it was, and that's the thing, the developer was right? They were correct. And my reason for doing it was wrong. But there is a tendency, you know, the person who has to implement the thing is always going to be the one that's the most conscious of what can't be done. And my instinct, because I used to be a developer and I program and I'm used to developing things, you know, I would say a strength of mine is that I have some insight into what is and isn't possible. But if I come at it from that angle, if I come at it from the what can't be done angle, what I'll present to the developer in the first place will be quite modest, and then the developer will then probably push it down slightly. On average, I don't mean all developers push all work down, but the developer will on average probably push the amount of ambition down slightly, which means that no one in the room is pushing up, no one in the room is aspiring to do better. And so that was the lesson that Mark taught me, was like singing. The designer has to push up and ask for more to be done. And that's kind of in a sense in application of that rule. Oh, I don't have my shield out. Oh, this is bad. Application of that rule is kind of what led to Centistum, like, because that was kind of a crazy plan. We hadn't really done anything like that. And like, if it, you know, oh, I'm gonna die. Just kind of just run away? Maybe? I feel like that kind of dodged the question a little bit. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of like a dev who left who taught me a lot about game design. I'm sure there must be something, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Right, I do need to stop though, because it is late. Hang on. Quit. Right, well I'll keep rambling. This looks kind of like a bit of a grind, so I'll just keep rambling around this place. During my lunch breaks and meetings. And see you guys another time. I seem to be streaming this fairly. I think this game has worked well for streaming actually. Like, part of what put me off streaming a lot was like a weird pressure to like only play a game when streaming because it was like a story game and it was weird to miss bits of it, or like the stream itself was basically just watching the dialogue. You know, but this game has worked out well as a streaming game, I think. So yeah, so I'm motivated to keep playing it, but I don't feel pressured to only play it on stream. Right. Anyway, good night. Talk to you all soon.